Welcome to another episode of TOPT. My name is Larry.
Lawrence.
Lino.
Seb.
And this is TOPT Podcast, where we talk One Piece and other anime. Woo! Let's go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 205. Today we will be discussing and reviewing One Piece chapter 1149. If we have time to watch the anime episode, we will. If we have time, we will take fan Discord calls as well. So thank you to all of you for showing up on your day off. You probably just got done with family, or you're currently with family. But either way, we are so happy to have you here. Thank you so much for being here. If you haven't liked the video yet, please like the video. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe right now. And if you're just watching this after the live is over, give me time to do the timestamps, okay? I'll be done with them soon. But to everybody that's on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, thank you so much for joining us as well. We love you. To all those that are going to be super chatting today, just want to say thank you. You guys are the best. You know you don't have to do it. But if you do, just know that it's going to take some time for us to read them out. So if we don't read your super chat immediately, please don't think that we forgot about it. Usually we're reminded that we missed one, and then we'll answer it on this episode or the next episode if it's way too late that you super chatted because it's after the show is done. So I just want to say thank you for being here. Obviously, it's Seb's day, so shout out to Seb. And yeah, Seb, let's say what's up to everybody in chat, and let's read some super chats, and then we'll jump right into the chapter.
All right, and I apologize for y'all in advance if my voice doesn't carry over as well as it normally does. I definitely lost it having a lot of fun at MomoCon. But I see Holy Knight DK, Henrik Karma.
You need me to read it?
Dan the Man. No, I got it. Maximilian Turner, Abdullah Shah, Gonap Pong? I don't know. Michael D. Angelo, Just Chillin', who apparently is their first time here. So welcome. Courtney Marie, Trafalgar D. Jenny, Zoro D. Joyboy, Twilight Straw Hat, Coven Creerer, Trafalgar, I got that already. Dopey, Marv's in the building, Maljan D. Sage, Ice Water Will. Just so many y'all. Islips. We appreciate y'all being here. Like Larry said, hit that like button. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. All right. And we have a couple super chats sitting already. So,
yeah, let's read them.
Yeah, we got a 1 month membership to Yonko Status from That Ain't A. It says, I had to use the bathroom at the park, and I told myself to aim for the bushes. The park ranger, Sheila, for some reason, looked at me and screamed, "Get out, Alan! Get out!" What was that about? Hashtag I'm JK, of course. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so stupid.
Love that movie so much. Another €2 from Not Pong. It says, Emu versus Rocks, who you got? It's an impossible question to answer right now, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, no. I don't think so anymore. I'll explain a little bit at the end.
I was going to say Emu.
I'm saying Emu right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say
just
Emu,
based off of what happens at the end of the chapter. I'll explain it, though.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Sim. Yeah, emo.
Okay. Another 10 from Dopey. Thank you, Lord Larry, for featuring me on the short clip. Got another one for y'all. If you could have given plot armor to anybody at any point in One Piece, who would it be?
Ace.
I knew you were going to say Ace. Hashtag all hail Ace. Lord Larry. Hashtag throbbing for Robin. Mine would have been Crocodile, because I don't care what y'all say. That was absolute plot that got him taken out of there.
Oh, no.
Insane.
The more plot would be a no. Random set individual.
Yeah.
My ultimate weakness pops up one day on my ascension to the moon. Are you serious? Yo, F you, yo. Yo, I just built the ship. It just got done. This week.
Yo, but no duck smoke, so I'm not giving him that.
He fought Luffy.
He ducked, bro. He was trying to get him off that ship instead of fighting him for real.
But he still fought him.
He figured out a way to hurt Luffy and still went, yo, I'm not trying to do this right now.
Bro.
It's true.
He didn't duck.
True.
He didn't duck.
He ducked, bro.
He was legit fought Luffy.
And
then threw him off the boat.
He tried to get a ring out.
That's not ducking, though.
Listen, that's ducking. What? We got another 10 from Majin D. Sage. It says, what up, though? Been listening to y'all on Spotify since Gear 5. Do y'all
thank
think
you.
Luffy came up with Snake Man while fighting Cat, or did he already have it in his bag?
had
Hashtag Cade is Joy Boy. Hashtag Cade killing him.
I think
That's
he had
funny.
it.
I think he had it
I think
too.
he had it
Same.
too.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
I think he had all three of them.
I'm not sure about Tank Man. That feels like it could be a spur of the moment situational thing.
Because how it happened.
Because it's like, yo, he might have a Tank Man version of that, but like he wouldn't have been that big without eating all the crack. You know what I'm saying? Like that was very situational.
And also, like, we haven't seen him.
And we haven't seen he hasn't done it
since
again since.
The only
get
way,
it.
if you combine, like, in that version, Balloon, Luffy.
Fusan!
Yeah, you know?
I mean, he
maybe.
could theoretically just create it. I'm just saying that's the only one that I had felt might have been spur of the moment. Another 100 something from Zoro D Joyboy. It says, "Happy B-Day, Seb. Thank you. Hope y'all have a wonderful B-Day weekend. Question: what's y'all's favorite attacks in One Piece? Bet Larry's is Bosron gun. Hashtag Sebi Webby. Hashtag Big Unk Seb.
Favorite attack? In all of One Piece?
That's hard, man.
Yeah.
That's hard to say. I'm thinking of like the names of attacks versus what the actual attacks are. Man,
I think the best in real life, the way it sounds, is when Sebastian does Jinbei's attack.
send me what I see.
Yeah, it just sounds so good.
I should
He
not
does
do
it
that.
so well.
I should not do that. That is one I like a lot.
Yeah.
I've always liked the whip from Luffy. I think it's funny when he does it.
Low key, I feel like a lot of Luffy's attacks are kind of like the way they sound are just like not attractive.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like other people have better attack names.
Luffy, me and Lyle actually were just talking about this, and like Luffy's attacks, mostly before, Bound, Gear 4 and whatever, they're all like military weapons. It's like gun, pistol, rifle, spear, axe.
Bell isn't one, but Bell is another one.
Yeah,
Like,
Bell, and there's a few ones that are not, like Bell and what was the other one that we talked about? Not important, but yeah.
I would say one of them for me would be Mouton Shot by Sanji.
Yeah, that's a really good
That's
one.
a good one.
I'm going to give some love to your boy Nell. I forgot what the attack's called, but that one where he did this on a guy.
Oh, I forgot what that's called.
It's
too.
like the coldest thing I ever seen
Yeah.
anybody do, bro.
That was dope.
He was just like, I was like, yo, there's no way, bro.
I think Entei.
Diente? That's a good one.
Entei. That was dope as hell. When I first saw it, the way he summoned it, I was like, oh, nah. It's crazy.
Zoro's got a bunch, too, that I really like.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, Shishi Son Son.
yeah, she just also
usually
doing
that.
But it's also the way it sounds.
Oh, his what's it called?
Rashomon.
Yeah, the dual sword slash. I mean,
There was-
quick draw. There we go.
There was this one movie, the way it's filler second doesn't count, but the way Zoro did Dragon Twister was one of the dopest things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because he did a mad acrobatic. He did a twister himself. Because usually he just throws his blades and swings his blades. But he did it himself and made the Dragon Twister. I thought that was dope.
I could name like 30 Doflamingo attacks because I just left them all. Parasite being probably the biggest one, but Birdcage, yo. It's so broken to me.
Yeah.
And honestly, I liked Garb's Galaxy Impact. That was dope to me.
And
It looked dope.
Yeah.
Like in the anime.
Yeah. Word.
not,
I think it sounds whack, but it was just so hard. Hydra.
Hydra,
Yeah.
from Magellan.
Magellan, yeah.
No, it was crazy. To me, I like the gas thing he did better though. Like when he-
chlorine or
Yeah.
something like that?
Bro, chloroform, I don't remember what it is.
Yeah.
But it's like, I was literally watching like, yo, how do you beat this? Like Hydra, you just gotta make sure it doesn't touch you. There was nothing you could do.
Ventilation.
Yeah, but who just you don't have that. You don't have access to that.
I need you to open a car door.
Luffy like knocked all the air away, and in
Yeah.
like 2 seconds it was back. Like it didn't matter.
I do remember that
Yeah.
doing that.
It was
yeah.
crazy. There's a lot, bro. There's a lot. But we got another 10 from Wise Life Jody. It says, did I read this? Okay. Another 10 from Wise Life Jody. What's good, boys? Excited to hear y'all's thoughts on this crazy chapter. Who would Luffy have given Ace's fruit to if Sabo never showed up? Sanji, hashtag Ryono, hashtag Book Lives Matter, hashtag Size Matters, hashtag Larry Tax, hashtag PETA.
What do you have given it to?
So
Was he about to give it to?
he wanted Frankie to eat it.
But he just wanted somebody that he knows and
Yeah.
trusts.
Yeah, and his crew.
He wasn't. Was he gonna give it to? What is her name? That's crazy.
Rebecca?
Rebecca.
Yeah.
Rebecca probably is the answer, considering
What he?
what the situation
I know
was.
at the time I did not want that to happen,
Yeah.
but it looked like Luffy was. He just didn't want Doflamingo to have it.
At the time, I
Black
theorized Kobe because I thought that he just needed a bigger bump in power, and this would be a way to achieve that for him. Plus, Luffy looks at Kobe like a brother. I didn't think we were getting Sabo back, so I was like, this would be my brother in the Marines the way Garp wanted. You know what I'm saying? That's what I thought. We got Sabo back though, so I wasn't expecting.
Do you
all
think
that.
Sanji would have ate it?
No.
No. Because the only fruit he wanted was the invisibility one.
Yeah.
I thought something stupid. I said he would have gave it to Zolo and fulfilled Jolo's other dream of having a flame sword.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
That'd be a waste.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
He probably would just kept it as a memento.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got another 7 months at Nakama status from TOPT Throw. Another month with TOPT. Here's to 100 more years. 100
Thank you, man.
is a while.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We got another 1 month from It's Lisp. It says, I've been watching for about a year now. I'm glad, with a heart emoji. Thank you, Lisp.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And then another 5 from Lord Sex. It says, I think it's 3 X's. I think he even super chatted saying it's Lord's 3 X's. I don't know. Do y'all think there's a chance Gabon makes it out of Elbaf or makes a sacrifice and dies in Elbaf? We'll probably get to the Gabon stuff a little bit later. But I'll just say it now, people don't die in One Piece for real. So.
Better not. He better not.
Another 5 from SC615. Shout out to everyone who made the ultimate sacrifice to allow us to be complete degens on the internet. Remember what today is about, friends. Oh, yeah. I completely forgot.
Bruh. Remember.
Happy Memorial Day, y'all. My bad. I'm terrible. Another 2 from Nimbus Jujubee. Yo said Bogard looked clean in this week's episode. I hope we get to watch it because I didn't get to watch it. We got another 5 from Courtney Marie. It says, happy birthday, Seb. Thank you, Courtney. Another 5 from Smithing. Fantastic. Smitty? I don't know. But no super chat attached. So next time, let us know your thoughts. Another 10 from Pastor C. HK tryout theory. Only CDs that do well during the hunting comps and win strong Del fruits are offered the position of Holy Knights, if the overseeing Gorosei of the comp sees fit.
I like that.
I like that a little bit, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like, how terrible can you be?
It would explain why Saturn was there.
Yeah.
Because I've never understood what he was even just doing there.
Yeah.
Just chilling.
Yeah.
Like him overseeing the comp for scouting for the next Holy Knight. I think that makes sense.
That's a good point. Interesting.
And even more fitting, Garling would have been the Holy Knight that ended up replacing him. And it seemed, if that's the case, he was scouting Garling, who probably got the bump then. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I like that. Another 25 months at Yonko status, our highest tier of membership from Project Iceman. It says, everyone is here. You love to see it. Happy Memorial Day, everyone. I look forward to hearing your thoughts about this chapter. Hashtag happy birthday, Seb. Thanks. Hashtag you know what's coming. Hashtag obviously it's hashtag Larry Tax.
Let's do 2 more.
Yeah, another
And
5.
then we'll get to the chapter.
From Poda, it says, finally hit a year with the best pod. Also,
Oh, thank you.
happy B-Day, Seb. Hashtag Larry Tax. Hashtag like the stream. Thanks.
Oh, thank you,
Thank you.
guys.
And then another $50 from Hans
thank you,
D.
Hans.
Zorro.
Appreciate
It
you,
says,
gang.
what's up, Top Gang? Here we are for another great Monday where we get to hear these goats give these greatest takes. One Piece. I think this is our One Piece. In the world, let's go. Hashtag Larry Tax. Hashtag Larry D. Latina Lover.
I sent this thing came across my IG one day, yesterday I think, and I sent Sebastian it. He was like, "Who's this?" I was like, "I don't know."
Yo, she was fire, man. She was fire.
All right, guys. I know there's super chats waiting. We're gonna get back to it, but we're gonna jump into the chapter for a little bit, and then we'll go right back to super chats to read them, and then we'll go back into the chapter. So it's just gonna be a continuous back and forth with that. All right. So, all right. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. So there is no cover story, thank God.
Are we at thank God levels now?
So I'm gonna actually just skip past the color spread, and I'm gonna just jump straight into the chapter. You guys mind?
I'm with
That's
that.
fine.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. So this chapter skips the cover story and dives straight into the action. Nami, Jinbei, Usopp, Robin, and Brook are stunned after Gaban lands a heavy blow on Saint Sommers. They're all asking the same question. Who is this guy? Sommers cries out in pain, and Usopp demands to know how Mr. Ya was able to hurt him. Gaban casually remarks that he's a bit rusty, then flips his axe around, ready to finish Sommers off. But Sommers defends himself using his thorn ability and demands to know what Gaban is doing on Elbaf. As they clash repeatedly, Gaban brushes off the question, saying there is no time for boring talk. During the battle, Nami tells the crew she met Mr. Ya at Oris Castle, where he manhandled Luffy and Zoro. She also reveals he's Colin's father. Usopp is stunned. Robin concludes this must be the Scopper Gaban, and Jinbei confirms it, calling him the left arm of the Pirate King, Rayleigh's counterpart. Brook wonders why someone like him is even on Elbaf. Chopper notices that Gaban's attacks are actually damaging Sommers and is desperate to understand how. Robin considers stepping in, but Jinbei stops her. Sommers unleashes two named attacks, one from the air and one from the ground. Gaban, pressed for time, destroys the aerial strike and charges straight in. Sommers braces for the hit, but it's not enough. Gaban slices through him, both his thorn sword and body. As he's about to land on Sommers' thorn trap, Gaban skillfully propels himself forward and rushes towards Colin and the kids. Chopper gives chase, eager to learn how Gaban is able to injure a holy knight. So, guys, what did you think about how the chapter kicked off? And we'll start with Law.
Okay. So, I've been debating going back and forth trying to figure out if this dude is using Conquerors or, hockey hardening or advanced whatever. I will say, because what I always notice, there's a difference between leakage actually look like it's leaking out from the blade, where what we've seen with hockey hardening is kind of like lightning bolts, like black lightning static coming from it. To me, on the first panel, right, which is like the question like who's that? To me, that looks like it's leakage, not like lightning bolts coming out of it, right? And if you go to the next one where he cuts through him again, right, it's looking like leakage to me again, right? So I don't know if Oda is playing with this because he's not a confirmed conqueror yet, but to me, it's looking the lines where matching up with all the other leakage conquerors I've seen it being used, it looks like he has conquerors. I don't know. I'm hyped for it. We'll see more on later on. Right, and I love the fact that Chopper had his head in the game to chase after to figure out how he's able to do this. Not to say that maybe the others weren't paying attention to it, but he was the only one at the moment available to do so because they're all tied up. But he jumped on a situation, realizing how much of a threat they are, and it's like, all right, yes, we're willing to fight, but if we can't do anything to stop them because they're immortal, they keep regenerating, then we'll be fighting for no reason. We're at a no-win situation here. But Chopper realized that early on, then jumped at the chance to follow Gaban to see where he was going and to get answers to that question. So I love that Chopper did that, right? And so to me, I was thinking about matching up, like, all right, where the Holy Knights stand here. I was like, when I first saw him block even Gaban's attack, I was like, oh, he could actually put up a fight. But that fight was short-lived because Gaban just overpowered him like really fast. So I wonder now, is it because Gaban is going all out and who could really stand up to like this level, them going all out, or it's just like that's really just a difference in strength, Because you could kind of put like in the beginning he did get blindsided a little bit by Gaban because he didn't know Gaban was there and Gaban was coming, or you could just take it as what it is, like no, just that's the difference, that none of the, or at least his level of Holy Knights or whatever, cannot stand up to like Gaban's level of strength, right? And I was wondering too, because I wanted this also weakens him, because just comparing him a little bit to Zoro, We know how, for example, we know Gaban usually wields 2 blades. Every time 2 axes. We see him, the first time we see him, even on Roger's ship, it's normally 2. Next time we saw him again, like years later, was when he's playing with Luffy and Zoro. He's using 2 axes, right? But now he's using 1. And the reason I'm linking it to Zoro, because we know how Zoro, like, he feels uncomfortable when he doesn't have all 3. Like, kind of like he's at a disadvantage. Yes, that's more like pre-time skip. We don't know if Zoro still has that, like, or anyway, no, I need all 3 to fight at my full strength. That's what Zoro would say. So I wonder if that's the same as Gaban, because if you're this strong, too, like, even you could take out a knight this fast with no comp towards you, if you view it like as a disadvantage because you don't have all your weapons with you at your full strength, that's to me impressive to Gaban, as in, like, wow, you're that strong that even at disadvantage you could just do light work with this knight. So I wonder where his other axe is, and why he's only using 1 instead of 2, and if it's a disadvantage to him, right? And yeah, that's all I have for now.
All right, Lionel.
So where did we left off at?
We left off after he cuts him in half.
Okay. I have similar thoughts too. I was debating if Gaban, if this is Conqueror's leakage, because it looks a lot like it, and I was comparing, with other uses of other people who did it. So it's still on, and unfortunately, I don't know if I'm spoiling, but we didn't get the confirmation at all in this chapter. Like, mostly we did, as in the visuals, but like it's the same with Garp. We didn't get confirmation at all in the manga, but we got a Vivi card confirmation. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's going to be the same thing with Gaban, or if that Vivi card is even wrong. We don't know. I'm not saying I'm doubting, but like I feel like I think it's more clear when you do it in the manga, because Vivi cards could be like mistranslated in a way that they gave inaccurate knowledge or inaccurate information that made people believe certain things when it's not. So I know it's a possibility, but again, I'm not saying I'm not disagreeing Gaban being a conqueror. So I thought it would be dope. Just like when knowing certain things, I like confirmation. I don't like just to hear say like besides certain things, it's kind of point blank. Like this is clearly it. But to me, it's like I want to get that confirmation. But the fight scene was pretty dope, even though it was quick. And I feel like a lot of it now, like I feel like the fight scenes in One Piece, they're just really skirmishes now. Like if you're not really the main characters or whatever, or you're not focused that much in this arc, I feel like the fight scenes are like this. Like they clash, have a little skirmish, then the fight's over. And that's why I'm like, I didn't expect this fight scene to be longer, but I'm trying to think of, all right, where's that going to take us in the long run? Certain fight scenes we're going to see later on, because I know Oda's getting old now, and the stuff he's able to do and like prolong, I should say, it's not like it's like we said, it's quicker. So I wonder how that's going to affect the other scenes we're going to see later on in the One Piece manga. I thought again I would like overall, because I don't think Sommers is like gone from this, because a little bit later on what we've seen. Because I like to actually see more of Sommers. I like to see more of these new characters. I don't like seeing a new character bug up and now he's gone. I'm just like, all right, what was the point? Like he's just gone now. Like he has no more. Like pretty much how they did with Virgo. Kind of like I wish I saw more of Virgo. I hope they're not doing the same thing with Virgo to Sommers. Honestly, I don't really have that much here, because we didn't go that far. So, but yeah, I'm gonna leave it here.
All right, so.
All right, it's always good to see Gaban stunt, because I like Gaban, I really do. I don't know if he's my favorite Roger pirate, but he getting there, and Sanji's my favorite Straw Hat, so I guess that makes sense. It was really, really, I was shocked. I'm not gonna, when Larry talked about the reaction for me, what we were talking about earlier, my like, oh, snap face, it was for this. It wasn't for the end of the chapter. It was for this. Because I was like, yo, he really just, like that? Like, that's it? I was shocked. Because, I mean, I didn't expect Sommers to be, like, a crazy strong threat. But I didn't expect him to get basically one shot like that. Like, you know? As for, okay, so Lawrence and Lionel kind of touched on what this is and the confirmation piece. A lot of people are saying Conqueror's Haki. I think it very well could be Conqueror's Haki, but I think there's another element here that's at play, and I think it's actually, this is a mini theory that I have on this, nothing crazy. But this is why it's Chopper who's the one that is the focal point of finding out what it is. Because I think the answer is going to be something that Chopper's against. I think that Gabon, in order to instill permanent damage on these Holy Knights and stuff, is using like life energy with his haki. Basically draining some of his own life to attack them and defeat them in this way. And Chopper's going to find that out and be like, no, we can't do that. Like, it'll be against everything that he's about because you're killing yourself to fight people. Again, I don't have any much, like, reasoning for that other than what I expected to be the outcome of the end of the chapter. And I'll get more into that later. But I think that's the case. Because, again, it could be Conqueror's Haki, but we've seen Conqueror's Haki utilized before, and it doesn't always have the same effects on people. This way, I think if you're instilling your own life energy into something, you can actually do permanent damage like that. So maybe I'm being thinking too convoluted with it, but I think that's where we're going with that. And that's why Chopper's the one who has this focal point of finding out what the answer is to what Gabon is doing to make this permanent damage. So
Can we discuss that a little bit?
talk to me.
All right, so I've always assumed that Conqueror's Haki involved life energy anyway.
Yeah, you've had is Conqueror's Haki toxic
Yeah.
conversation. I think you have a theory about that.
Yeah.
So I went into that too in my mind, like maybe it is just the toxicity of Conqueror's Haki. But I'm saying it wouldn't necessarily be Conqueror's Haki because, again, to me, Chopper isn't going to be a Conqueror, right? And if he's the one who gets this answer and the answer is, yo, it's Conqueror's Haki, that doesn't do anything for Chopper. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it's Conqueror's Haki, but with this caveat, I think that changes the dynamics. Because now I'm worried about Luffy's life when he's utilizing these attacks, Zoro's life when they're utilizing these attacks, et cetera, et cetera. It can't just be, oh, well, I'm a Conqueror. Like, that doesn't push anything with Chopper. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't change anything for Chopper. If you were to tell Chopper, yo, this is Conqueror's Haki, what is Chopper doing? There's nothing. There's no story. There's nothing to gain from Chopper learning that. So when I saw Chopper and Lawrence said the same thing, like, oh, he took action, I'm thinking, why is it Chopper? Is it just because he's the only one free, or is there more to this than that? And that's why I went to the toxic Haki thing that you were saying. So to me, maybe it is Conqueror's Haki, but there needs to be a caveat as to why it's important for Chopper to find this out.
So what I was going to say is, I believe in the idea. I just don't believe in the usage that you're speaking about.
Okay.
So I'm saying, like, for example, Whitebeard was at Marineford War, tried to use whatever type of haki, too much of a strain on his body. Even when, like, Rayleigh said it, it was like, yo, this puts a strain on your body overall. I think in order to be a conqueror, it allows you to expend some of your life energy, but it doesn't make you older.
Okay.
It doesn't. It might deteriorate your body if you misuse Conqueror's Haki in a certain way. Like, in order for you to use it correctly, to be efficient, that way it doesn't take away from your health.
Okay.
And I see it in that way where Chopper goes, oh, this is something that everybody has. But if you misuse it, it puts too much of a strain on your body, which accumulates to being some type of disease that necessarily we don't have a cure for.
Right.
And I think that's the way it works.
Exactly. So if we get to that space, it would be on Chopper to come up with a way to stop that.
Yeah. So, but the idea of that also is contradicted by Emu, because Emu has Conqueror's Haki, in my opinion. And if he's able to do the things that he's doing, then it either means that the Opi no Mi that gave him eternal life, when he uses Conqueror's Haki, it doesn't affect him. So he can just exert as much as he wants to at any given point in time. Or Conqueror's Haki actually doesn't fatigue you in that way. And it could be either or at this point because it's all variables. But I'm up in the air about that. I just don't think it destroys the person unless it's being misused in a certain way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a dozen different avenues we can go down with this. To me, if the answer to what Chopper's saying, yo, is Conqueror's Haki, that we don't get nowhere with that. So I was just trying to think of where we go from there, because that's how it writes. He'll set it up, it'll play out, and then they'll create a new conflict. Like, we have a question, it needs to be answered, Chopper gets the answer, but that answer needs to be something that poses a problem for Chopper.
But it does bring conquerors, people who have conquerors, down a level. Because you could only go. Yeah, well, it's an equalizer. If you use it too much, you're gonna eventually die.
Which I'm fine with.
That's basically. But I don't like that.
I'm perfectly fine with
Yeah, I
that.
don't
No,
like
I'm perfectly
it.
fine.
I knew Lawrence.
To me, you gotta limit the number of dudes that can walk around doing what Joy Boy was doing.
I mean,
You get what I'm saying?
There's only 11,
Fine, but what I'm saying is,
and there's like 16 overall.
Imagine you have like all 11 of them reach the apex of what Conqueror's Hockey can be, and they're just 11 emus and Joy Boys running around, flat like yo, it's crazy. Like Roger, Whitebeard, these dudes got sick. They were at the top of the game. We don't know what happened with Joy Boy. We don't know if Emu's immortal, whatever. But what we do know is these dudes are probably flexing these abilities, and over time, it's like, yo, you're using too much, and it's killing you.
But even the ones that do have it, I feel like most of them can't even utilize it to that extent anyway.
Fair,
right?
fair,
There's
fair.
only what? There was Roger, Rox maybe, Whitebeard to some degree, Garb, and then you have like Emu. Like even Sengoku now, like we don't think much of his conquerors. We didn't think much of aces. We didn't think much of like kids. Like even Yamato to a degree, they don't have that extent. So I can't say necessarily like they're breaking the show.
But they're not using it to. But put it like, what did Kaido say?
Hockey rules all.
Not just that. He said that Roger bent the world to him using it. Obviously, Rock's similar case, right? Whitebeard, similar case, world's strongest man. We saw what Joy Boy's hockey was looking like. If you're using Conqueror's Hockey to the degree that these people had to be using it to be at the top of the game, not just, I'm one of the strongest guys. I'm at the top. I'm like top 5 all time, and I'm not 5. You know what I'm saying? That's what these dudes all are. So to me, there should be a drawback. I know Lawrence will hate it. You can't just be the GOAT like that. Like you can't just walk around with 99 everything, and there's no drawback to that. Look at Luffy. His entire journey is every time he gains a power up, there's some drawback to that. That's been a key focal point of the whole series. Hockey's gonna be the same.
It's different though because you're talking about devil fruits in comparison to like your own willpower.
Yo,
and that's the difference for me. If it was treated like a devil fruit, then I'd see it. But this isn't some external source. This is me. This is my being.
But we've already got an example of Luffy putting his willpower on the line, right, and still losing years of his life with an exerted will, with Ivankov and the hormone drug thing. So it's like, it's not like it's a new idea for Oda to do this. Like, you overexerting your will could still cause you to lose life. You know what I mean?
But it's still external sources being implemented into his body to decrease that life expectancy.
To me, it's going to end up being like that for hockey.
But what about Garp? If Garp is truly is a conqueror, you don't think Garp was using it the same way that Whitebeard and Roger was doing it? Because if you're going by that, he's the exception who didn't get sick. Like, we don't know about Joel, but we just know he passed. He could have got sick, or somebody took him out.
You said Garp?
Yeah.
This is going to sound disrespectful. Has Garp ever been looked at in that same light as Roger and Whitebeard? Like we had a conversation where we were like, we don't know if Garp has Conqueror's Hockey.
Stop.
It's true though. No, it's true.
Stop.
It's true.
I'm not even trying to put you down or anything. I'm just saying like there's been multiple fights where it's literally
you're not hearing me.
Him and Roger fought multiple times.
You're not hearing me.
There's no way they didn't use Conqueror's Hockey.
No, you're not hearing what I'm saying. You're not hearing what I'm saying. I'm saying even in Roger and Garp's situation, Roger propelled himself to the top of the pirate world to make it bend to his knee, become Pirate King, etc. Garp, still a vice admiral, never wanted to raise the ranks of the Marines, and you yourself have even argued he's a coward because he didn't take action and change the Marines. If he was doing those things, he might start getting to that toxic hockey conqueror level of utilization. He's not. He was on vacation where God Valley happened. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's not putting in the work that they were.
All right.
He's just not.
Fair. But my rebuttal would be, well, that also applies to Roger. Because Roger necessarily didn't try to become the ruler of the world, so his Conqueror's Hockey didn't need to be at the level of Emu's. It just needed to be above his contemporaries. which Whitebeard wasn't trying to be the ruler of the world. Shiki wasn't either. And the only person that really was trying to do that was Rocks, and that was earlier in Roger's career. So if there was a point where you've even admitted Roger has gotten stronger after Rocks' battle, it would assume that his hockey's also stronger. So for me, that doesn't quite fit.
Okay.
So if Garp and Roger are apparently stronger than they were during God Valley, and they're going conquerors clashing every single time they fought, and they fought countlessly, then I would assume that Garp and Roger probably used their conquerors hockey the same amount. And then Garp stayed alive and then kept using conquerors hockey, as we've seen on Hachinosu. So that's where it's coming into the... I think our struggle is not conquerors hockey. I think our struggle is how Oda's like utilizing it for the story.
Maybe.
Okay. All right. So I have a few things I wanted to mention. I'll try not to be long. Right. One, I thought of something like, I don't necessarily see that as life force, but I get what you're getting at because you could kind of link them because it is your will, like you guys mentioned. Right?
You install your essence into another person.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And you think, well, what I guess we'll learn more exactly what will is according to Oda, how he's putting One Piece, but it is like yourself, like you said, your essence. But also we get that they refer to it as your energy, right? You're asserting your own energy into objects, into people, into things or whatever, right? You're imbuing your energy, right? Since how, for example, I will notice that we did see that hockey, right? Overuse of hockey can have a kind of like a negative effect or like be a strain, I'll put it, on people's bodies, in which we've seen with Luffy, right? Law mentioned he's overusing his hockey. Zoro even mentioned this much will like kill me, right? Take me out, right? But notice these are the young ones. The older ones, right? When I think your control, your mastery, your strength, your body is strong enough to handle it, we don't see any of the older ones having that problem. Right, and that's not even just the case with like every young one. It's just someone's because, for example, if you want to go with Odin, to me, Odin shows an example that he was just exuding hockey for like no reason.
Oh yeah, that's a great point too.
True.
Yeah, for like no reason.
And he didn't even know what it was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right, but we saw no strain on him, and he was young.
The only difference is about that point is that Odin happens to have an abnormal body, and that goes for like Kaido and Big Mom too. So it's hard to tell with them.
Yeah,
but I get what you're saying. Yeah.
So, but that's the case I'm also making is like, for example, the strain is not for everyone. If you're not anyway, you're too immature with it, right? Because one way I'll put Kaido kind of ripped Luffy, saying that his hockey or his whatever uses was kind of like clumsy, right? So inefficient because Luffy's still just learning this, right? So we see the negative effect that has on his bodies because he's still only 19 years old and using a crazy amount of hockey. Whereas like, yo, you haven't developed to this level you could use it. Because like you think about another one, Shanks, right? Shanks is the one who kind of, when we first seen him, he was the first person we've seen kind of use hockey, taking out the Whitebeard pirates and everything, right? And we see him, he's kind of using his hockey to a really degree, but there's no strain on him. Yes, these are small instances that we're not seeing him in battle, so you could say that one. But I'm thinking since they're younger, right, it's having effect on you because your body's it hasn't developed fully to like, I'll put it this way, how Kaido said, let your mind and body catch up to with your ability, right? I think it's similar to hockey where you have to mature, right? Because what did Ray say? He goes, hockey in a sense can't fully be trained, right? You could train to like how to use it, but it grows with you.
That was Conquers.
Yeah, Conquers, right? But that's still hockey, right? So it grows with you. But now we're talking about hockey, Conquers usage, right? Is that you're exerting more than what your body can handle right now. Yes, it's your will, right? It's going to help you because you could push your will to go stronger or whatever, right? You could exert more of your will. Luffy's seen doing that time and time again. He's fighting in these situations where Luffy, you're not strong enough to handle these situations. So exuding more will, more hockey, more of his conquerors in these situations to just survive and battle with them. But your growth is not there yet. He's making himself, we saw how fast Luffy's growing and excelling. He's making himself get there, but he's not there yet. Yeah. You know, so I'm thinking that's why we're seeing such a strain on Luffy, and it's mostly Luffy who's getting the strain. No one else is kind of getting the strain. Zoro hinted this may or this will, whatever, but then we saw him using more than we've seen him ever use before. But no damage here, no strain on him, right? Because when he was fighting Albert, when he realized not got to use as much, he was using more than he did with Big Mom and Kaido. But there's no damage effect on him. Luffy's the one where, like, because he's using so much of it all the time. Like I've said before, how he's overusing his hockey even with Bound Man. To me, kind of like, the Bruce Lee, like right here, like, you have it loose, and when you're about to attack, you do this one. He could literally do that with hockey. You're throwing your punch, then you add hockey at the end of it. To me, that would make him last longer in his fights because you're not imbuing your whole body with hockey all the time. Where, like, for example, you're not even attacking, you're just bouncing up and down. Mm-hmm. But you're exuding your hockey now. So that's energy being drained. That's power being drained from you, which will save your energy. So what I think is that way, and going back to like what, now, since I explained that one, I thought of something. I kind of want to say it a while back, but I kept forgetting how to word this because I don't know how to. But it made me think. And then someone told me apparently Morge came out with a video of it as well. But I didn't see the video, so I don't know what is about it. But I thought of, for example, we're talking about, like, remember we mentioned Rio penetrating from the inside? I mentioned, like, it could be that one, right?
Yeah.
And we talked about, like, Conqueror's hockey combined with that, right? I thought of something like you're leaving, it's going to sound weird, but we're talking about energy. You're leaving your energy on that person in a way, right? So it made me also think of, like, for example, think of blackened blades or forged black blades. You're permanently did that because you left your hockey in that blade, so it transformed that blade, right? So I'm thinking, in a way, what could be happening with why they're not regenerating, that you're leaving your energy, your will inside what you cut, or that object, that person, whatever, so now has affecting where it's like now you're messing up their properties where they can't regenerate, so to speak, like that. So I was thinking kind of like that aspect. You're enforcing it.
It follows the Zoro versus Monet fight. Mm-hmm. And that's what Conqueror's hockey was from the get.
Yeah.
That's why she wasn't able to regenerate herself.
Yeah, because yeah, but the thing is, like, most of the time it will dissipate, right? Like, it'll have that effect. It'll knock you out, whatever. But then it kind of like, I don't know where it goes. It's just energy. Maybe it just disappears in the air. It goes back to the user. We don't know, right? But the forged blade one is like it's permanently there. You know, like that forged blade, the black blade, is never going to be unblackened, right? So now I wonder if that you could do that with your attacks inside people, leaving a lasting damage. You know, or like even like for example, you have immortal ones like the Sister Dragons will not be able to regenerate. You know, so I wonder if like that's like where Rio and Advanced Conquerors can do to if you get to that level where you could leave it inside people, having an effect on them that way.
Yeah, I think it's a great theory. I do.
Lawrence's or mine?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Because I think essentially we all have the same idea. It's just the way it affects the user.
Right. Yeah. I do think it's hockey is causing some life forces to drop.
Yeah, I don't think that's wrong. I think that's correct. Yeah. Anything else?
No, that was kind of it.
You sure?
Yeah. Outside of that, I mean, y'all already kind of spoke on Gabon and how dope he looked. I will say I like the attack from Sommers. Like that I saw like coming from both sides.
It was so smart.
Yeah, it's like I like him as a villain, man. I really do. And then like overall, he gets bodied and he falls into the spot.
Yeah, I was gonna mention. I forgot. He got his own like a little bit of justice there.
Yeah.
The punch. What you're doing to others, you got to taste of it. Yeah,
bro. Like damn. I hope it hurt, man. Yeah. I do. But no, I like the attack. I like Lionel said, the fight was more of a skirmish than a fight. But yeah.
Quick question, because again, another thing I forgot to bring up. Because remember we talked about last time the whatever thing he was using. Because now we see it has a handle to it, right? A thorn handle, right? We were thinking, is it just black or is he like hardening in that? Because if that's true, that's the second time we see where a blackened blade, not forged black, but a blackened blade was cut through. Do you think that was his hockey that made it black, or do you think it was just like, all right, it's black because to me now it didn't look like he created it. I think it looked like he may have had his weapon the entire time because of the handle.
I think it's all hockey.
Yeah, I think it's
he's
created
imbuing
black.
it.
Yeah,
created. Okay.
Yeah, he's imbuing.
He always that's the sword he had on his head on his person.
Okay.
Yeah, remember when we first?
Yeah. So he didn't just create it. So that's what I'm thinking. Was it? So now we're playing with it. Was it always that color or not? But yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that's it for me.
All right. I think everything in this fight was well choreographed. I really can't wait to see it animated, to be honest. When it comes to how Sommers was injured, I still believe the key lies in the use of Conqueror's hockey. I brought this up multiple times in past episodes, so I won't harp on it again. But I am genuinely confused by something. If Sommers was cut by an attack infused with Conqueror's Haki, took real damage and couldn't regenerate his body, then how is he still alive after being sliced in half?
Yeah.
That's the part that confuses me. I get that the full extent of their abilities is still a mystery, but does this simply imply there's no real way to murk them, even with Haki, which is supposed to counter Devil Fruit powers, if this is a Devil Fruit. Haki is framed as the ultimate equalizer, the thing that bypasses all abilities, essentially. So, how is it suddenly not enough? This directly contradicts what we've come to understand about the power system in the series. That's why this particular detail has me really intrigued. It could signal a major shift in the story's rules and how we interpret them moving forward, hence why Chopper's kind of involved, the same way Sebastian said. I absolutely love the parallel between Rayleigh and Gaban. When Rayleigh first stepped in to defend the Straw Hats against Kizaru, he casually mentioned he hadn't used a sword in a while. Then during the fight, he admitted he wanted to help the Straw Hats against Kuma, but age had slowed him down. Now we see Gaban facing off against a Holy Knight, and he too says he's gotten rusty. So that was like a nice little parallel for me. It's such a powerful reminder that even though these men were absolute monsters in their prime, time has caught up with them. Like, these are some old guys, you know? They're legends, no doubt, but now they're just old men doing what they can. It adds a layer of realism and depth to their characters that I really appreciate. That's kind of it. I kind of like Gaban's design.
Yeah.
He's dope, man.
Yeah, I like it a little bit more now, so.
There's one other thing I wanted to bring out, and I know we've been on this part for a while, so I don't want to linger too long. There was conversation about how Gaban and Sommers know each other, and in this chapter, he's shocked that he's on Elbaf at all, not understanding like why he would be here. So I know there was conversation about they may have met at Dot Valley, they may have met somewhere else, they may have met when they first came to Elbaf to try to recruit like 6 years ago or whatever, or 12 years, I don't remember how long ago, but it seems as though he had no idea that he would be here. So, God Valley, I don't know, but...
Yeah, I was going to bring that. I forgot about that. But yeah,
Which is weird, because he's been here for 20 years.
that's what I'm saying. I was like...
And you've been
idea.
you've been coming in and out of Elbaf for whatever reason, and you haven't noticed it. I mean, Elbaf's huge. It is a giant island, like literally 4 giants, so...
because that brings the question, like, for instance, Gaban, when they came this time, Gaban sensed it. But since how humongous Elbaf is, can you not sense it at certain parts of the island because how big it is? Because again, I can't correlate how many islands this Elbaf is to, like, you know, how many Desrosas make Elbaf, you know? But, like, for instance, Gaban sensed it that one time. That he, once in a while, felt, what was that strange hockey? Went there of nothing. Like, how many times that happened, or this is the first time that happened? But we don't know because, again, like, because, for instance, again, whatever's going on right now, I don't know if they could or not. The Straw Hats, like Zolo, Luffy, and Sanji, still are not even up going on. Like, they don't know what's going on up here, to our knowledge. Yeah. And I thought it was interesting because Sanji's one who usually senses things, right? Yeah. He didn't sense what's going on with Robin or Nami. Usually we'd see Sanji would fly up and attack and, like, save them, but nothing. So, again, is it disconnected? Is it because they're too far away? Or
well, it seems that they were masking their presence from what Gaban was saying, or at least it seemed as though they tried to mask their presence. I don't know how you do that, but it's probably some sort of hockey usage. But yeah,
I think it's mastery over hockey. You could probably lower it. Like I said, it's kind of like first like energy, so you could lower it. But like that's a good line I'm bringing up before, how Sanji's radar didn't reach not Nami or Robin being in danger. You know.
One other point I want to point out. I've mentioned that Sommers and Gaban might have known each other because Sommers has been here because of his connection to our boy, Harold. And it's making me think that Sommers did still have a connection with Harold when I think the Holy Knights and such, you know, obviously murked Harold and such, right? I think Sommers was there, but Gaban happened to not be involved. I don't think Gaban happened to be during that moment of whenever that thing was taking place. So Gabon was probably in hiding, or like Harold was like, yo, stay out of this. Like, you're not an Elbafian. Like, you don't have direct say. Like, you're just married to one of our people, but you're not a direct advisor to me. You're not somebody that has an impact on our culture. And you've just been hiding basically here, like the same way Rayleigh's been hiding on Sabaody Archipelago. So they might have not just met because of that.
And you know why? The end of this chapter, something I want to highlight, kind of backs that up potentially too.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll wait till we get to that, but I'll back that up with something that happens in this chapter.
Yeah, but that was one point I wanted to point out. But yeah, let's do 7 super chats, and then we'll jump right back into the story.
All right, cool. We did get 20 gifted memberships from our guy Roy Stokes.
Roy Stokes in the building.
Thank you so much.
Oh man,
Our guy,
bro.
thank you, Roy.
Sheesh.
Appreciate you, dog.
Yeah, and Roy also added to his Yonko tier membership for 16 months. It says, let's go 16 with the GOATs. Thank you, Roy.
Sheesh. Boy's been here for a year and a
Throw
half.
them knock him a fist in the
Thank you,
chat.
Roy.
Appreciate
Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you.
We got another 5 Canadian from Morningstar. Happy birthday, Sebby Webby, with the congratulations emoji. Hashtag Larry Tax, hashtag Law D Horse Beater, hashtag Size Matters. Another 5.
That sounds crazy. The sentence there.
Horse Beater, Size Matters as well.
Yeah, seriously.
Another 5 from Smooth Weed. Were Emu and the Gorosei sharing vision in Egghead like Zunisha and Momo when Jack was attacking? And is that a powerful variant of observation hockey? Hashtag Happy Birthday, Seb. Thank you. Maybe. I don't know if it's I've always assumed what Momo was doing was the voice of all things.
Yeah.
I don't know what... wouldn't say what Emu's doing is the voice of all things. I think it has something to do with their ability, but it very well just could be. You know what I'm saying? Because Emu should be a master of all types of hockey.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why you wouldn't give them the voice of all things. But I've thought that was their ability that was doing that. So I don't know if you...
No, I'll have more to say at the end of the chapter about it.
All right, another 15 from Alex Vargas, 15 months at Yonko status. How many points would Law get if he was at God Valley, if the people of God Valley were horses?
Oh my goodness.
He would lose points. He'd be so eager, man. He'd be jumping off stars.
Yeah, bro. They were not even started yet, and he took out everybody. Every horse there. He would have been the Beast Titan.
Yeah, I wonder, say like Shanks was a god's name and went like, yo, I'm just going to hockey flex 50,000. You win or you lose for that?
Well, you knock him out. You don't murk him.
That's what I'm saying. No,
It's about murking them.
Okay. I was checking. Yeah. Another 5 from Roki D. Armis says, Oda pulling that Brook plot twist is crazy. I want to hear you guys' thoughts and theories, specifically the P-Day boy, hashtag BBC gang, hashtag the one Larry Tax, hashtag long live the D. We'll get into the Brook stuff when we get to that part of the chapter, so stick around.
Yeah.
It might take a little bit to get there. It's a little bit towards the end, so but stay close.
Yeah.
Another 5 from Cyborg Frankie. Happy belated Sabatino. I turned 30 on Saturday myself. Hey, shout out Gemini Gang. Can we hear a little about Momo? Hashtag law business partner tax. Hashtag horse. As you guys can see, I lost my voice at MomoCon. It was a great time. I'm glad to say Larry had a great time. I knew I was going to have a great time. I always have a great time at MomoCon. Yeah. But Larry said that's the best con that he had ever been to. So it was a lot of fun. It wasn't just us out there. We had a couple friends with us.
Yeah.
Some of Larry's closest friends and my closest friends. So we filmed a bunch of stuff. We turned up. We went out every night. A lot of driving, a lot of drinking. But it was a lot of fun, man. It was always good to see our Annie family, as I like to call them, the anime peoples that we know via the pod. So Elbaf, Shonen Showdown, Sundays. We saw Toasty perform. We saw so many people. Shout out to Perry. Shout out to Kumar. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to the Hashira podcast. It was a lot of love that we felt throughout. So really appreciate it, guys. And y'all should go to BomoCon. If you're ever in the area, just go. Another 40 from Zorody Joyboy. Seb, you're struggling to talk. Let someone else read. All right, if y'all feel it's that bad, we can do that. I don't like putting too much work on Larry.
It don't matter to me.
Listen.
I just know people don't like hearing me talk all day.
Listen, if you want to take over, you can. But we got a 5 Canadian for Fickle and Shampoo. Anime and manga fans are going to hate Dragon together within the next couple of episodes. # Dragon got lost and reached Mary Schwa. That's terrible. I don't think I hate Dragon. I don't think he's going to make me hate him more than I did in that moment from the chapter when it dropped. I don't think the anime is going to make me hate him more. I don't think so anyway, but we'll see.
Yeah, let's do one more and then we'll jump back into the chat.
All right, another 5 from Larry's Conscious. It says, kid learned conquers hockey sarcastically. He the type to punch a spider awakened. Stupid.
Yeah, they just keep coming after Lawrence, bro.
Terrible, bro. Terrible, bro.
Said a hunting competition of horses. Yo, what, bro? Now he punching spiders.
Listen, bro.
All right. Save the animals, yo.
Yeah, bro.
All right, let's jump back into the chapter.
Shout out to Peter.
Yeah. We jump back in, and we are at Walrus School, where a giant is seen carrying the sleeping giant children away. St. Killingham remarks that Anji has done well. Suddenly, the Walrus School is set ablaze. Anji watches in shock, visibly emotional. Killingham readies a flaming arrow and aims it at the library. Anji pleads, no, but Killingham releases it anyway, laughing as he tells her to watch it burn. Robin sees the library engulfed in flames and is heartbroken. Saul remains unconscious. The citizens of Elbaf are filled with sorrow, reassuring a devastated Yarul that none of this is his fault. Yarul breaks down, saying the library held the words of their forefathers, the entire history. We then cut to Gunko's arrow lodged in branch 8, with Rona teetering on the edge. Killingham radios his team, confirming that the fire is burning. Gunko urges Ronya to return, confused by her distress. Ronya, visibly shaking, apologizes through tears, saying she's sorry she's still alive, that everything is burning because of her. The giants rushing to save her shout back, insisting it's not her fault. Meanwhile, Gaban is getting close to the children. He yells to Gunko that they have no right to take Elbaf's culture, history, children, and troops. Gunko reminds him that Gaban once sailed with the king of the pirates, and that his interference would mean the passing of these children. The captive giant children recognize Gaban as Mr. Ya and excitedly inform Colin that he's come to save them. Gaban silently prays that Colin won't say anything, knowing it would be used against him. So, guys, what did you guys think about this second part of the chapter? And we'll start with Seb this time.
All right, so I hated seeing Robin's face like that, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but in a good way. Like, it's hurting. It's touching. Like, she's burning the books. Anji's face, same thing. Like, clearly, these are educators. These are people that this is their life. They live for this. They live for the books. They live for the knowledge and understanding. And they're crying at the thought of the books burning. Like, it's tough. It's hard. Same thing with Yarul. Same thing with Saul. We don't really see Saul. I don't know if he's conscious, but I feel like he knows what's happening. Maybe that's just me coping. And then Ronja, right? Like, Sommers was like the sadistic one that took joy in this stuff. And like, I liked how evil he was for that. But then like, Gunko's so deadpan, right? She's like, why aren't you happy? You know what I mean? And she's like crying like, I'm sorry that I'm alive. And like, Gunko's not taking joy in it. It's just Ronja feeling it. Like, feeling it. And everybody's like, yo, it's not your fault. It's not your fault and everything, you know? It's like heart-wrenching. Because this little girl really not only was willing to die for this, is upset that she didn't because now the books are burning. So it's like, dang, y'all like school that much? Like, I didn't. But, listen, it's just touching, though. And killing him, delivering the death blow to the line player, you know, as expected of them. It doesn't seem like they knew that Sommers got taken out, like, at all, because they didn't react at all. I thought they would be reacting to that, because I thought he was, like, on a loudspeaker with all that stuff, but I guess not. All right, so when, how do I say this? when they mentioned that Colin was Gabon's son, and Gabon instantly said, "Yo, don't speak up, right? Don't say anything about it." My mind instantly went to where Gunko was gonna go. We didn't technically get to that part yet, but my mind was like, "Oh, she's gonna use Colin as a hostage because she can't beat him.
Yeah.
That's her only option. You know what I mean? So my mind immediately went there. So that's why I was thinking about what you were talking about with Harold, right? Like, it's probably not common knowledge that Gabon is here or that he has a kid on Elbaf. Because if they knew that, they probably would have done something about it. I don't know if they would have or not, but like, Rayleigh was kind of chilling and it was common knowledge that he was there, at least for the higher-ups. They just was like, we not really beat to deal with it. So maybe they would do the same thing with Gabon, but they did also say that all the Roger pirates had gotten rounded up. I feel like that's a lie.
Yeah.
I feel like they lied to the world
of
at this point. Because obviously, a couple escaped. We in Sunbelt theories. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Well, if you think about it, Roger's execution was a lie too. They said, "Oh, we caught Robert." Like, then he turned himself in.
Yeah.
So did you want to say, "Oh, we did that and we rounded up all the"? It was a power move.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But that's where my mind had went immediately after that. So it's sad day, sad chapter, like for that little stretch. But I will say, and again, we haven't gotten to it yet. I loved how quick Gunko did that. She's immediately.
Well, we haven't got to that part yet.
My bad.
Yeah.
My bad. I was excited to talk about it, man. I was. But I didn't have much else.
All right. Law?
Yeah, so actually, there's another thing I wanted to bring up, but I kept forgetting. But it's actually, I'm glad I didn't bring it out earlier because this is the perfect time to do so. I was in my mind thinking, because you know how they kept saying, all right, you guys have to decide to either save these children or burn it down, right? Like, they're making the Elbafians, I guess, whatever, do that. The Giants, I'll just say the Giants. The Giants do it. And I'm like, why? Just do it yourself. Like, I'm thinking about this, why are you making them, like, no, you guys got to choose. Like, kind of like, why are you making them choose? You guys could clearly, you're there already. In fact, like, you know, it's all in your hands. Just burn it down yourself.
You stand there and you watch.
Like, it didn't make sense to me.
It's about subjugation.
Yes.
If you force somebody to do something and they know they have no power to change it,
Right.
it's easier to make them fall in line.
Yeah, exactly. That's where, like, I had that question. I waited. I'm happy I waited because then you see the answer. Because he said it all sums it up right here. Because good, well done. You have proven yourself obedient right here. So all this game, because you remember, Sherlock said, "Pay this a game," right? I guess this is part of the game, right? Because for amusement for them, but also too, this helplessness that what they're doing is to kind of like beat them into submission, right? Is to prove them obedient. If you try to defy us, this is what happens. You know, we'll take things away. But if you comply, your children will be okay. So it's like this is where that control and how you think of this is how kind of like they work, right? You think on a bigger scale, this is how they work, as in, like, you know, the Gorosei, the Celestial Dragons, all of them, on all over the world, right? We're allowed to have slaves. We do what we want. And also, too, even this being aligned with us, right? You want our protection, you have to comply, right? If you're not, we'll let every pirate, whatever, we don't even care. Even though we are the world government, you know, we don't care. But you're not aligned with us, you know? All this to comply. So it shows like right here, because I was thinking in my head, why do it when you're right there? Why are you waiting for them to give you the answer to do so? Because right here, it was easy for him to do it. I'll take care of the rest. Boom. You get there from the start. But then you don't have their compliance. You don't have them submitting to you. You're not ruling over them. Because mainly, what we're going to see later on, what is their goal? Is to kind of submit the giants to their will, and they serve as their warrior slaves, or you want to call it, right? But you don't go that by you just fighting them. No, you have to beat them to submission. So now that put into the answer why they did that, right? Yeah, seeing Robin like that, I was like, because I know she's trying to fight out to get out of the thorns, and know that you can't. And this is where you show that Oda has a really good way of showing like people, like you're in a situation and the helplessness that you're in, right? Is usually why, like, for example, people like Luffy or whatever need to be saved, because usually the reason why they do is because they can't literally do anything about it, right? Since like Robin, like she wanted to fight Sommers, she wanted to get out of this, but literally her ability is like the poor matchup because the thorns are everywhere. Now there's fire. You can't even use your ability to do because you're going to get burned. You're going to get thorns, like your helplessness. And Saul, I know you mentioned Saul, but if you look closer, maybe it was beforehand, but he's crying right now. So it's showing that he's probably is conscious, the helplessness too. I fought. I was a Marine Vice Admiral. I was using hockey and everything, but I got beaten. Now I'm covered in thorns. Possibly, I'm not going to say to his passing, we don't know yet, but like I'm surrounded by thorns and I'm crying because I was too weak to do something. That's a common thing in One Piece where why everyone needs to be saved or need a liberator because you have the repressive of the world's government doing this to people and making them feel so weak that they can't do anything. Hence why Nika was probably created, you know? So and then now even the history, we're going back to the same thing of why they do it too, because they don't want people finding out more than they deem necessary for them to know, right? Be it their ancestors or ancient books. But the thing is, they took care of everything. They didn't just settle for Ohara, that section. Like, no, all of the education of Elbaf. It's kind of like we pointed to before. Remember, we were not laughing about it, but like we were watching the episode where like anything outside of their duty of slave to, they couldn't really enjoy. They're about to make Elbaf their giant slaves of war. Anything outside of that, they're destroying. All what you guys don't need that education from your ancestors. The words of all that. No, that's done now. You are our warrior slaves. You're gonna battle where we say, and that's part of what their control as in. Anything else, you just live to be the happy. And it made me think of what Gonko said. Why aren't you happy? I took it that way. It's like we're allowing you to live. We're allowing you to be our slaves. Why aren't you happy? You should be happy because we're giving you that permission. To me, that's how I see them as it. It could be another way, a deeper thing, like, why aren't you happy? Like, she doesn't get it. But to me, it's like the way she views them. Like, she just started stomping on Brook before. Like, you're going to be my music slave. No, I decline. You know it's going to mean your death. I still refuse. Got mad because, like, no, you should be happy that you're my slave because I am a celestial dragon. I'm this way. So that's what I'm thinking, like, why are you happy? I read it more of, like, they beat people's submission. They should be grateful that they kept their life for that, you know? Showing how evil and, they are. Right, and then Ray John going on to like how you could bring this kid to this way is just going on. We don't need any more to see why they're so evil, right? And to me, I was thinking the same thing with the whole part with Gabon's thoughts, Colin, because the other translation said, "Colin, don't give it away." Like don't give it away that I'm your father because they're obviously going to use that, right? Like, please don't speak up because it's a kid. You know what's going to happen, but that thought was like, please don't give it away because the situation right now. I'm not even there yet. I'm running to you. Like, if you let it go, like, how am I going to get there in time? But, yeah. And to me, also, last thing I'm going to say is I felt like, I know you tied it to Elbaf, but the culture, history, children, and troops, especially coming from Gabon, I think that was way deeper than just Elbaf. I think that's regarded to, like, what he knows. To, like, he knows the secret of everything. So it's like this is what they've been doing to people for generations, thousands of years, or hundreds of years, because 800 years, right? Hundreds of years. They've taken away people's culture, history, children, and troops, slaves, whatever. And what the ancient history, what Gabon knows, he's like tired of it. Now I could fight against to save my son, and I'm going to. But like he's probably seen it, or heard about it, or read about it way too much, and that's why he said it. I linked it towards what he knows and going to like the last island. Laugh Tale. But yeah, that's all I want to say.
All right, Lionel?
Honestly, we broke around, but I thought of like, I just feel bad for her more as in a weird way. She's like reliving her childhood.
Yeah.
Like, the flames, the library burning, granted, they didn't burn during the Ohio because they saved it, but like, this guy would bring back old bad memories. Souls on the ground too, bloody, messed up, like, just bad memories for her. She's again just reliving it. I'm just like, dang, like it's happening again in a way. So I just felt like that hit me right there when I saw that scene. And Roger, her crying. Again, all this is like it's just a sad scene going on. Pretty much, I thought of with Gabon. Ali, when I saw this, I thought of what Dragon said to Kuma. You might as well, when he's talking about Luffy, when he Luffy's a kid, he said, you might as well just kill me now. Or take me out now. Saying that, he's like, what are you talking about? Saying that pretty much the sun is your greatest weakness or something like that. We hear Roger say it. I'm sorry. We heard Dragon say it, but we already know. But now we're actually seeing in action. This is what happened to Gabon is really what Dragon tried to prevent him happening to himself. Because even though I want to see my son, I want to take care of my son, I have a bigger goal to stop this from happening to other people. That's my goal. But it's taking too long because, again, the world government, and we're seeing more how much power and influence the world government has. Like, we didn't know about the Holy Knights until later on, and now we're seeing that they're immortal now. Like, this way you see why whether Dragon knew that or understood that, because, again, he used to be in the Marines. But he started realizing, this enemy I'm facing, I need something a lot more than when like a big army. But you need, like, your army's clearly not going to be enough, honestly. Mm-hmm. Like, Dragon, in a way, you're saying that, even though Dragon's trying to accomplish, he's fighting a losing battle. He needs more.
That's why he's recruiting kingdoms.
Yeah, he has even that, honestly. Because I was thinking of, like, for you to the tables to turn, besides you getting pirates, if they're going to really help you, you need the Marines to really switch sides and join his forces. Because what we're seeing now, like, especially how long it's taking, that in Dragon, you don't have the manpower. Because I heard on the podcast, Lee, were you thinking Dragon is the only one who could kind of really do it? The rest of his subordinates don't really have it like that. Like, they're strong, and we saw they're able to do a little bit to a degree on the Holy Land when they attacked. But again, they were holding back the Admirals because they didn't want to destroy the land. Imagine them fighting at their full potential. Would they be able to accomplish what they were able to accomplish, the revolutionaries, if that happened? So it's like, it's begging the question, like, yo, like, we're seeing again, plus, in what the world government is really going to do. Like you said, take away cultures, history, children, and it means nothing. They don't even bat an eye to it. And that's a disadvantage to you because you're, like, that's like, if they have a hostage, you're like, I can't, like, Gabon right now. They're put in a situation like, they don't care if they take him out. What we do, and we're trying to save it. But again, if you're not strong enough, then either they're going to take it out or you're going to get taken out, or both. So just like, the more you see it, just like, it's just crazy. And you're thinking of how they're going to win, especially towards the end with emo, going on. But like, it just, to me, it just adds more to you need to take these people out, but how? Like, how you're going to do it? Especially, again, if they have, not just this, if they have the ancient weapons too. Like, and now, like, besides Blackbeard going on, but like, we don't know of what else weapons they have. And now I think they just got the Mother Flame as well. It's like the world government honestly just adding more to the arsenal to a degree. And it's just crazy, honestly. I think that you just stopped right here, right, when he attacked Gonko, right? Or
no, it was before that.
Oh, before that. Mm-hmm. But I don't think I have anything besides that. But yeah.
Okay. For me, killing him casually burning down the school and then immediately turning his sights on the library was just wild to me. The moment he started laughing and shouted, "Look at it burn!"
Yeah.
I just sat there like, bruh. These Holy Knights really have no ceiling when it comes to being terrible. And maybe this is just the sadistic temperament I've developed after being desensitized by years of force-fed anime trauma. But I kind of found myself craving more misery out of this chapter. I don't know why. I got issues. Yeah, I know, my bad. On another note, seeing Gonko keep her word to Elbaf by letting Ronya go after they agreed to the Holy Knights' demands to burn down the school and the library was dope. It was like sort of noble because like why would you keep your promise? That doesn't.
No, you
have
have to.
I guess
you have to because if you don't, then they're not gonna comply.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They got no choice anyway, bro.
Nah.
They had no choice.
If they still clipped Ronya, then everything's off. We're not agreeing to anything. We're just fighting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And y'all still gonna fall under us.
Yeah,
and
but this way we
are subordinates.
This way we do without losing people. Or lose less casualties.
Yeah, I get it. But I don't know.
You was trying to see her on your phone, bro. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Bro, I have issues.
Yo,
Man.
That's wild.
Yo, what's wrong with you, bro?
I guess the emotional punch of Gunko asking why Ronya wasn't happy during her grand sacrificial speech added another layer. It was deeply satisfying in like a tragic way. I need to stop. And then Ronya apologizing for being alive. That was heartbreaking, but it was like Emerald. Emerald when he goes BAM! Like he throws the seasoning on it, like, on the food.
So long ago.
Yeah.
Oh my god. What's
What's
wrong with you?
All that history, culture, and potential knowledge sacrificed for the life of one girl. It really makes you think. When the anime catches up, how many people will, on the surface, side with saving the little girl, but later sit with it and wonder, maybe we should have let her go? As viewers, we feel the dread of all the answers lost in the fire. Answers Robin might have discovered if she had more time to sit in the library and think about it, you know?
The book, what's the book again?
The Book of Love.
No, the book.
Good book.
Are you talking about the Harley text?
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, mixed up with the...
She might have started with that.
The Harley text mixed with the
mural?
Yeah.
And then there's Gabon, filled with rage, kind of serving as our in-panel reflection. He wants to punish the Holy Knights for their cruelty and violence. But with that anger comes a kind of blindness. He forgets, even for a moment, that his own son, Colin, is there. And knowing what Colin is capable of, Gabon realizes he may not be able to release his fury the way he wants to. That moment, chef's kiss. It's a small part of the chapter, but I think these overall 4 to 5 pages were the best in the chapter. Just the way it flowed. So that's kind of how I felt about everything.
You was trying to say you're on your fall, man. What's wrong with you?
Yo, be as evil as you can be, bro.
Okay. That's just wow, bro.
I mean, I agree with that on some level. I don't think it worked in this case because of the consequences.
Because if you're trying to get them,
undone everything you just did if you did that.
I mean, the only thing is you got O'Hara to burn again, all those things. But then now you're going to war with Elbaf when you're trying to recruit them more in slavery.
We talk about this juice worth the squeeze, like on this side, on their side. If you're evil, you're telling me Elbaf was about to give up. And you decided to clip this little girl anyway? Are you... What? Why? Yeah. Why would you do that?
Because I'm a god. Yo, guys, we're going to jump back into the super chats that you guys have been sending. We'll do about like 7 to 8. I highly advise everybody in the chat to like the video. Of course.
We got like 700 viewers, but only 300 likes, man. Hit the like button.
We love y'all. But more importantly... if you do spoil whatever you've heard about the next chapter coming out in the live chat, mods, ban every single one of them. Instantly. Don't think about it. Don't wait. Listen, there'll be more people that will watch the video. Yeah. Ban those people speaking about the new chapter. Yeah. That's it. You're reading it illegally, 1. And 2, you're spoiling the chapter for people that don't want to be spoiled. Stop asking questions in live chat. I'm sorry to be so aggressive with my wording, but stop. You just can't do that. It's not appropriate. So, mods, ban them. Doesn't matter. I don't care. Sorry to everybody that's being spoiled or doesn't want to hear about that. We can't control everything, you know? But we try our best. So, thank you guys. Just enjoy the chapter for what it is right now.
All right. We got another 2 from Manny D. Nika. It says, I'm driving from Dallas to Houston. Make it a good one. We'll try, man. I was going to sing Raining in Houston, but I ain't got the vocals today. Another 5 from Ravenstorm. Happy belated birthday to our boy, the GOAT, Sebi Webby. Hope you had a good one, big dog. Hashtag get up. Hashtag bang bang buggy gang. Thank you, Ravenstorm. Another 5 from Burger Man J. You guys have inspired me to start my own podcast. First show June 3rd. Hey, that's what's up.
Hey, good
hashtag,
job, man.
Hashtag.
Nice. Keep doing that.
Larry Tax Return. Yeah, use your tax returns to start the podcast. Another 10 from Osil Montoya. Have recently convinced my brother-in-law to watch One Piece. He's 500 episodes in and still in denial and calling it mid. We will convince him one day. Law, if you ever need a windshield replacement, I got you. Hashtag bug puncher. Listen, if you're 500 episodes in and you're not feeling One Piece, it's probably not for you.
Nah, keep going.
I mean, keep going, but some people just have bad taste, bro. I don't know what that is. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, I'm trying to think. 500 episodes. Where is that?
That's like...
Marine
War and stuff.
If that's Marine for War, then
like not before war yet, but you're like up there. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, at least an Impel Down, right?
Yeah, like around there.
Yeah, Impel Down. Yeah. I think 550 or 570.
Episode 500.
The 550s are where Marineford is popping.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I feel like Marineford. No, and those lobby and Marineford should do it.
Alabasta shit. Baratier should have did it. If it didn't do it then, you don't get it. Another 6 from Music Noah. You guys are awesome. Just super entertaining. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you.
I got a question, though. Who would win Gear 5 Luffy or Marineford Whitebeard? I'm going Luffy.
Luffy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luffy.
Oh, you know what I wanted to say
Oh, Gear 5, Luffy. Okay, yeah.
about the chapter that part that we just read? I forgot to say it. I'm sorry. I think Biblo is gonna protect the library.
The owl, right?
Yeah, I was thinking
Yeah.
he's still in there. Just
Yeah,
like,
He's
cool.
in there. He gonna be like
LOL, fire?
fire.
Like we haven't had fires before.
You think I didn't realize the weakness of Elbaf and I just sat here in this tree? Come on, bro. Who you thought I was?
You get it?
Yeah, thank you, bro.
I thought of him too, but I'm sort of thinking of what he's able to do because he just sitting there just like, oh, it's not fire. But like, because the wind, unless you could blow it away, unless he's an actual something else, I don't know what he could do.
Yeah.
Unless he just eats all the books. I don't know.
He probably has all those books in memory. Real
Can
talk.
he can change the sizes of the books, right? Can he shrink them to like a size that's like
I don't think he can shrink it. I think he only makes them bigger, right?
I don't know.
maybe if he awakens, I don't know. But yeah, I got Luffy. I think everybody said Luffy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Lawrence didn't.
No, I did.
Oh, you did?
Okay. Yeah. Another 10 from NYC Anime Nerd. First of all, I hope you're living in life. Second, all of us got this thought about divine attacks or what's gonna hurt Emu or the G Unit, Gorosei. I like that name. I like that name. Like divine departure, even though it was used on Kid. I'm not fully understanding the question, nerd, or the statement. I know you have some issues with your hands typing, so sorry, I'm just not fully getting. Are you trying?
I don't know.
You following? Sorry, nerd. Another 5 Canadian from Morningstar. Larry, please, can you read? Seb is having a hard time. All right.
Is it that bad? He sounds normal, bro.
That would sound like an hour ago. That super chat. So
Am I getting better? Like,
I mean, I can read it.
Go ahead, bro.
You just have to put your mic on the other side. Yeah.
I got you, bro.
All right. You guys are stuck hearing my voice now. Happy. That's your community for you. NYC Anime Nerd with another 5 says, what if Croc has the hook because he cut off his hand because he had the slave tat from the CDs? So on GV, he cut it and had Ivankov change him.
So he was, I guess, a woman's slave, and then he cut off his hand, and then had Ivankov change him.
He was
into
part of
what
the harem.
I don't see that for
They
Crocodile.
said, yo, it's dry, bro. And he was like,
Come on.
Firearms has become a Yonko for the 26 months. Thank you. He says, what's good, y'all? Just pooping in to say hi and wish Seb a happy B-Day. Hope y'all are having an amazing day. # best pod. And then he sent 10 gifted memberships.
Thank you. Hey, thank you. Appreciate
Thank you, Firearms.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Smooth Weeb with a 5 says, people think being a conqueror in OP means conquering others, but it's actually about conquering one's self, coincidentally. And then he says, Sanji finally did so in Wano.
I can agree with that to a degree.
Yeah.
If you gotta ask another man to take you out, you ain't conquering yourself, bro.
Chill out.
All right.
Chill out.
TD with the 17 says, yo guys, another week, another great episode. Question, if we give Jinbei Conquerors Hockey non-advance, who's the strongest he's beaten? Also, Seb gotta sing some blues with his raggedy voice. # Larry got ball takes. # HB Sebi.
Why did you read it like that?
Thank you. I have no idea why you read it like that.
It sounded good.
It did sound good. It sounded really good.
Strongest person Jinbei beats?
He has with Conquers?
Not
He could
advanced.
utilize Conquerors, but not the advanced version. Akainu, I said it.
Akainu?
That's a wild.
He already blocked it without you.
Akainu?
He already blocked his attack.
That's wild.
That's wild. I'll go like
It's crazy.
king or cat.
Because I expect that from me, Larry.
That's wild, man. Akainu is wild, bro.
I agree with Sebastian. I think king
All
at
right.
least.
King. Lawrence.
Okay, I don't know yet.
All right. Seb.
I said king or cat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Lord 3 times with the 5 says, Happy Glow Day, Seb. They just don't understand Blackbeard is goated. Hashtag Blackbeard. Hashtag big ups to you.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate it. Thank
We're
you.
going to get 2 more of these before we go back into the final part of the chat. Yellow Frog King with the 20 says, Y'all the goats. Heart emoji. Been a fan from the start. Episode 34. Who y'all got winning? Current Magellan versus Prime Kobe. Hashtag Navy Troopers. Hashtag Happy Memorial Day. Hashtag Larry Tax. You gotta go Kobe.
Yeah,
you gotta go.
Kobe's supposed to be an admiral when he's in his prime, right?
Wait, who was it? Kobe versus who?
Current Magellan.
Kobe.
It's gotta be.
Nah, yeah, it's-
if Kobe can't beat Magellan, he's
Real talk?
folded.
That honestly impact one
Yo,
tap in.
shut up.
It is.
Shut up.
Dude. All right. This dude, no, let's be real. This dude was dropping to Luffy pre-time skip.
I'm on your side.
I'm just saying.
No, I
I'm
get
on
you.
your
But
side.
Luffy tossed Garp pre-time skip.
Pause.
Lionel, rethink about that situation. He tossed guard.
Yeah, he said it fine. He
No,
punched.
yeah. Okay. So, on a damage level, because we saw Luffy send Kaido flying, right? But then Kaido one-shot him.
But it's different though.
We can't spend too much on it.
Alright.
You can say your piece, though.
He made Garp bleed. He didn't make Kaido bleed at all.
You know
and
who-
Kaido has
You know who else made Garp bleed? Axe Morgan.
Okay.
He's not wrong. Hold on, he's not wrong.
We're gonna move on.
He's not wrong, man.
Spencer Jones with the 999 says missed MomoCon this year. Hoping to come with my bro in the Elbaf fam next year. If Rob gives me a promotion, 5-cent promotion. That get me up to the cool 10 cents. Hashtag being broke made me rich.
What? Yo, shout out to Spencer Jones, man.
Yeah. And then for the final one, before we go into the chapter again, guys. All right, and it'll be the final part of the chapter. We have JT with the heavy 20. Slap it on me. Says, yo, top.
Hey, yo.
He says, yo, topped. Effing with y'all heavy. I saw this theory about black bear fruit. And that only when exposed in light, he is tangible. And in pure darkness, he can absorb, becomes intangible darkness. Man, who can absorb things like Del Fruits wanted to know what you think?
See, when you do that, it makes you think that's how he sounds.
So when he's exposed to light, Blackbeard's range of what he can utilize his darkness for is limited. But when it's dark out, he can expand to anywhere. I'm trying to fully understand what he's gauging.
He becomes intangible in darkness.
That's his theory?
Oh.
Darkness! Yeah. F your couch.
I like it.
We never seen an ability where like any of like the the weather outside or whatever sunlight whatever affects it.
That's not
feel
true.
like who
Moria's ability.
who's
Moria's. The shadows.
but not himself.
Yeah,
That's
not
what
himself.
he
He can do it, yeah.
not himself, but like the other stuff. Because I feel like you're limiting. That's a way limited ability. Oh, only in sunlight. So in the morning, I'm just.
I mean, you
nerfed.
can do.
Like,
You can still take devil fruits from people, and you know what I mean. Like you do a lot during the day.
so Blackbeard gonna wait till nighttime to fight you.
Like Batman.
The thing is, he covered
Somebody yelling for help.
He covered Whitebeard in whatever dark cloud shroud that was, possibly specifically to have that. Like I'm fully dark now. I don't know.
It's like, oh my God, I'm being assaulted intimately.
Yo, come on.
And then Batman is like, well, wait until nighttime. Wait until the evening.
But it's happening right now, Batman.
It's happening right now.
Okay.
It's like,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I can't do nothing right
Y'all
now.
weak, man. Y'all weak.
I wish I could come out without my suit on to do something.
Call the police.
Yep.
He said call the police.
I'm not entertaining.
Shout out to Trey Rags, bro.
bro.
That skit is so funny.
Oh my
Yo,
god.
I'm out of here, an idiot, bro.
They're not answering, man. I need you. Help.
Yo.
I can't do nothing. Damn.
Yo, bro. Oh my god, bro. What?
Robin.
Yeah.
It's like it's your job. Go out there.
Yo, it's technically not his job, bro. You think Batman takes PTO?
For
being Batman?
Yeah.
He's against it.
Who do you
You think he's paying himself to be Batman? Like he's like, I take out this
I'm
much.
saying, do you think like Alfred's like, yo, you gotta go on vacation, bro? Like you have to. You have bad days lined up. No, probably not.
All right. Let's hit these big supers,
Okay.
and then we'll jump into the chat. So we got the 50 from. Hold on, I'll do it.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it's 150, right? Or do we have two?
There was two. I just
Let
don't.
me see. Why'd you take it away to the live chat, bro?
The live chat doesn't go all
Oh,
the way up.
it is. I got both of them.
Alright.
JD Como with a 50 says, "Happy B-Day, sir. What do y'all think? The Elbaf mural / Hollytext show a high industrial first world that overmined the forbidden sun. This mining, similar to fracking, caused massive earthquakes, destroying the world and raising the red line.
I love it.
Cooking!
Cooking. Absolutely cooking.
Bam! Yo, you cooked with this one, bro. And I think I actually said something similar in my One Piece theory video that I put out. I didn't go into it as thoughtful as this, though. But this is on the money. I would actually love that.
Yeah.
You cooked with this one, bro. Like, no cap. Like, this is actually really good.
That's a spoiler, Loki.
Low-key spoiler. Low-key spoiler. And then our final super chat before we go into the chapter, and then come back to super chats from Sky Lances. What the 50? Yo, Larry, I'm not caught up yet. Tell me that the Holy Knights are the real deal. Gunko design looks fire as F. They sort of the real deal. They're sort of like.
There's realer deals around.
Did he say that one
While
twice?
they're here.
No.
No, the fracking one, yeah. I don't know if it sent twice, but it popped up
It's
twice.
just
Yeah.
YouTube. Listen, I think they get beat by any first commander still. Like the way they get embodied, it don't you know what I'm saying? I put them at second commander level, to be honest. But
The Knights?
I got that regen is crazy, dog.
Yeah.
So that's just me. But yeah, so guys, we're gonna get back to the super chats. So please do not panic about that. If you haven't liked the video yet, please like the video. We're at 360 likes, almost at 750 viewers. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate y'all staying and chilling with us. I hope you're laughing. I hope you're having a good time. You know, but we're gonna get back into the chapter, okay? And then afterwards, we are going to we're gonna get into Discord fan calls. Because I don't think we'll have enough time to watch the anime episode, so forgive us. But we might. We don't know it just yet, depending on time. All right. For the final part of the chapter, Gabon's worst fear becomes reality. He had hoped, prayed, that his son wouldn't draw attention to himself by revealing their connection. But when Colin shouts out that he's Gabon's son, the damage is done. Gunko immediately takes notice. Gabon tenses up. Without hesitation, Gunko forms an arrow and charges straight for Colin. Gabon swings his axe to stop her, but misses. She closes the distance and places her blade right at Colin's neck, asking Gabon if he minds her taking his son's life. Now caught between duty and fatherhood, Gabon faces an impossible decision. He knows there's still a chance. If he acts fast, he can save the children, save the library, save Elbaf. He urges Colin to hang in there, calling him a strong big boy now. Colin cries out, "I'm a warrior, so please beat her up." Gunko calmly replies, "Once a life is lost, it never returns." That line hits Gabon hard. He flashes back to the day Colin was born, Ripley handing him their newborn son, huge, adorable, his lifelong treasure. In the present, Ripley screams out for Colin as Gunko begins pressing the blade into his neck, drawing blood. Gabon prepares to launch a desperate attack, but in a flash, Colin is struck. A blade through the neck. Gabon breaks emotionally. As Gunko moves to finish the job, he drops his axe and surrenders. "I give up," he says, hands raised. Gunko pulls back her sword. Defeated, Gabon whispers an apology to Elbaf. Gunko lifts a finger, calling him a feeble, frail thing, and fires 3 arrows through his chest. Gabon falls from branch 8, bleeding and broken. He says, "I'm sorry, Colin," with his final breath. Colin cries out for his father. Chopper is shaken. The children, unable to fight back, are forced to keep walking under Gunko's control. But then, something shifts. Gunko suddenly recalls a distant memory. She's crying, shouting out, "Father." Confused, she asks herself what this memory is. We hear a familiar laugh. It sounds just like Brook's. Then a silhouetted figure says their dream is to become a pirate. Back in the present, Brook, tied up, notes how uncanny Gunko's resemblance is. Usopp panics, wanting to run. Gunko remembers the name, Brook. She rushes towards him to confirm his identity, and then something happens. Elsewhere, Sommers is shown defeated, but alive. Killing him is stunned. The kids comment that Gunko looks terrifying. Suddenly, a voice says, "What's taking so long? The holy night is a sea of fire. We need greater numbers. Allow Mu to show you the dominance of God." Gunko rises, and now both her eyes resemble emus. Haki crackles around her ominously. So, to start off with Lionel, what did you think about the final part of the chapter?
With the Gabon attack, I actually thought he actually hesitated a lot during this attack. If he actually, besides him swinging on Gunko the first time and doing it, but if he attacked right away and followed up, he possibly could have saved his son. But I'm thinking of his old age and him hesitating already that he was in danger, holding back. Then him listening to him hearing what Gunko says even had made him hesitate even more. Like all I see is him just hesitating, like him thinking what he should do instead of just doing it. Actually, is what caused him to get shot in the arrows. I think. Again, also he's a lot older now. So he's not as fast. He's not with the energy and spring that he used to be. But I thought like all that factored into him not able to do what he was able to do right now. And it was him getting the arrow shot in his chest.
That's what Morpheus told Neo. Stop trying to hit me and hit me.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But that's how I viewed it as with the whole Gabon thing, and again, he's been leashing a lot more conquerors leakage. That look again, this looks more like the leakage than the Black Lightning to be. Again, going back to our previous conversation, and I did also notice that Gabon has a scar on his face, during the flashback when Collins is being born. But we already now established that he didn't have it when he was in with Roger's crew when he met Odin and stuff. So clearly something happened. He got into a battle and a fight where he fought somebody and got that scar. Because we didn't know what time frame, but we just know it's after the Rogers Pirates disbanded.
If it was up to Sebastian, it'd be Garling who did.
I was thinking the same joke. I was thinking the same thing.
Why not? More Holy Night connection here than Whitebeard, I would say.
I know,
right? Just saying. Shazam!
Yeah, that's funny.
I was thinking Loki, but
Loki?
yeah,
That's a really good one. when you said the whole and the only thing Lauren's gonna say, I'll let him say it. It's just small though.
Are you guys talking telepathically right now? Like,
I assume they talk about the chapter.
No, we brought up Chopper jumped out to save Gaban. Yeah. So I'm assuming he's gonna save him, or somehow this is when the strats finally come up, save Gaban, or finally know what's going on. Like either Chopper, they see Gaban falling, or they see Chopper and Gaban falling, or
why doesn't Chopper have like a fly mode?
He don't, right?
How would he develop wings?
He's a reindeer.
Yo, that should be his awakening.
He's a reindeer at this point. Like
that should be his awakening. Yo.
Yeah.
Full Rudolph mode.
Like no rings.
I mean, I would kind of want more.
He should be able to emulate all of them.
And his red nose attracts hoes. Get it? Because ho ho ho.
Yeah.
But does he have a blue nose?
That's the point.
It turns red.
Turns red.
Okay. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It directs him to the hose.
All right. I actually think he's probably just gonna do guard point and save both of them, because I think guard point could somehow take the impact of them if he goes all
Monster point is what you're thinking.
No, guard point.
I think. I don't know. Go ahead.
Like when he's a big giant furry ball.
Yeah, no.
I'm saying that I think that could cushion the fall for both of them. I'm assuming. I don't know. I'm just.
Every time I see Chopper in that form, it reminds me of like a Dunkin' Donut munchkin.
Y'all love those, bro.
Yeah, or like a meatball.
Meatball from Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Meatwad?
Meatwad. There you go. Meatwad.
There you go.
Come on, man.
I'm gonna save you, come on.
That's his voice.
That's his voice.
Every time he kills guard foot.
I'm gonna save you, come on. How'd you do that trick, man? With that? I can't even do it on that.
Come on, man.
No, bro. I hate y'all so much. I used to love Aqua Teen Hunger Force, bro.
I don't know if anybody knows what we're talking about.
No, bro.
Yeah, we're definitely showing our age.
Marv like these guys.
Oh man, I don't have any theories for the whole Brook and the flashback with Gonko, but it just made me think of I actually thought of two things that, in a way, we already discussed this too, but I think it's like foreshadowed, like a Nell and Doflamingo, like kind of foreshadowed Emo. Cause
okay.
I thought of like pretty much like because going on, I started thinking of with the Holy Knights and the guards say, I don't know if Emo could see exactly what's going on, but he's aware of what's going on. Just like a Nell he couldn't see, but he could hear, like in the island, because he made with his lighting and made radio waves, right? Like he could hear conversations.
It increased his mantra.
Yeah, it increased his mantra that he could hear conversations now, and he could teleport to that area when he wants to. Something similar to Emo's doing. I don't know if he could see or know what's going on, but he's aware of the situation, and he could just be there instantly. Mm-hmm. And also, I thought the same thing with Doflamingo, that he's able to control people at a distance, manipulate them. And I thought of the same thing with Gonko, since Gonko now just kind of giving more clarification that Gonko is fully not really aligned with the Holy Knights like that. Like maybe her mind got warped or changed, or she's getting manipulated, brainwashed or mind controlled. I thought of like or her memories erased, like similar to what Doflamingo was doing with the toys to other people, and he was using them. But it was like a verse, like how when you turn into a toy, you have your memories, but everybody who knows you is they don't remember you. It's like the opposite now. Obviously, like people could like Brook recognize Gonko, but kinda like she seems familiar, but Gonko didn't remember Brook until just now, and now it went back to the normal. So like those aspects you saw, like all the kind of we always knew that Doflamingo, and I'm pretty sure somebody else said Anel as well, but I was linking what they're able to do. And or just making an Emo in a broader sense, So I thought of that as that aspect. But I don't really have any connections with the whole booking thing because I just don't know. But now because you said this part though when they said the resemblance is canny,
uncanny. Yeah.
Uncanny. I thought a new person showed up to them. I didn't think it was Gonko. I think I think a whole new person showed up. I don't know if they're a good person or going to help him out because I'm going by the resemblance is uncanny because who's Usopp talking to about like what person you're seeing that the resembles to who?
No, that was Brook
that's
saying
Brook
that.
saying it, and Usopp basically saying lock in and think of a way to escape.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's why I was like kind of confused.
Because even at pardon me, like you think he's talking to Gunko the whole time, or you think
I think he's
The part
talking
of me
out
is
loud.
to Usopp.
Yeah.
Because he's like distracted by this girl he remembers.
Okay.
And Usopp's like, yo, bro, we're tied up. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, that makes because I really thought somebody showed up to them the whole time. But okay, that makes sense. And I think that's because I don't want to take too much time. I don't have that much here. But I said everything I wanted to say. I think if I
Okay.
come up, I'll bring up. But yeah, I don't want to take too much time.
All right. Seb?
All right, this was a lot to end the chapter with. I wasn't anticipating all this.
It was a lot.
It was crazy. Guys, we read this chapter. I was at the Elbaf panel reading it low key because they were doing something I didn't have knowledge on too much. I read the chapter to walk away to make sure I didn't spoil Larry. I saw Larry read this chapter live on a car ride to get to MomoCon. I was like, from the backseat looking at him reading it, like, yeah, he getting to the good stuff now. He looked back at me like, and I was just like, hey, man, we gonna talk about it on the pod. We didn't speak about it at all, essentially.
No, we did it.
So, I'll start with the beginning. I really loved all the Gabon stuff we got in this chapter. The Colin stuff more specifically. Because this is basically the one thing that could stop a father from, you know what I mean? Like, yo, you're putting my son's life at risk. And low-key in front of the mom, because I think she's on her way.
I think she's on her way.
She's not there yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's like calling out.
Yeah, but
They're pretty far.
yeah, I liked Colin's like, I'm a brave warrior. Like he's trying to be strong, but he's
I'm a
clearly
warrior.
terrified. He's like calculating. I could do all this stuff in 1 second, 1 second. The name of the chapter was 1 second. When I was reading the chapter live, I thought into my life force theory that he was gonna expand. Like I was going deep into that theory. I was like wholehearted, like this is what's happening. He was gonna expand his time, like use some of it to get that second off.
Yeah.
I didn't think we was going here. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I did not anticipate to see Colin get his throat stabbed in future sight, and then for him not to like go through with it. Because as you can see, he was winding up the strongest attack we've seen to date from him. You know what I mean? Like it was gonna be everything he had in this, and flashing back to the birth of Colin. He gets poked a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's wild. Gunko really followed through with that. He couldn't do it. And I don't think if you're a good father, you can't do it. You have to stop.
You could always make another kid.
Oh my God, bro.
You said it no nonsense.
I be wanting to tell Larry not to procreate, bro. Because that's crazy.
I'd have gorgeous children.
That you would let die, apparently. But then Gunko just immediately, just instantaneously shoots him. Like, and calls the reasoning feeble. Like, it's a frail thing you did this for nothing, for your son. And I'm like, dang. And as he gets shot, I'm sorry, Colin. It must have hurt because he got poked in the neck. You about to die.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you falling off this. Obviously, it's One Piece. You're probably not going to die. But, like, it looks like this is death. And I'm not going to lie to you. I did not peep that Chopper jumped off to save him.
You did?
Nah. My mind was like, yo, he about to fall to the underground and splat in front of Sanji and Zoro. Like, that would have been crazy.
I know I'd be saying like that's too dark, but
Yo.
like that's just the right amount.
Yo, right?
Yeah, bro.
I don't want to lose Gabon so quick. Obviously, it's not going to happen. But, like, if that would have happened, yo, come see me if Elbaf's still intact. And then the next time you see him, he splats in front of you. That would have been wild.
That would have been hard,
That
bro.
would have been wild.
I'd have been like, yo.
It would have been a little sad that that's how a legendary Roger Pirate goes out.
Yeah.
But, like, at the same time, he was saving his son.
It would have been epic though.
Right. I remember I used to say, like, Cracker should have landed in front of Big Mom when Luffy shot him. This would have been that on, like, a trillion, bro.
Or like she was eating, and then he just went into her mouth, and she ate him like unknowingly.
Nah, that's wild.
What the heck,
I mean, it happened already.
I'm saying it already happened in the story. She unknowingly ate her peoples.
But shout out to Chopper. You know what I'm saying? But I was kind of hoping we would get that.
Yeah.
That little splat. Beyond that,
Shout out to Guard Point.
I was not anticipating the Brook pulling a Yasop on his kid reveal. I don't know if that's the case. I think Brooks thinks that his daughter's dead. I don't know why I think that, but I just don't see. I don't see a Straw Hat doing what Yasop did.
Yeah.
Just kind of leaving.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think Oda would do that.
No.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I could be very wrong. But I think that Brook thinks that this person is dead. If it is his daughter.
That's what I was going to bring, and I forgot. I'll let you go there.
Because she has the bandages over her body and stuff, so something's happened to her. Probably before she became a Holy Knight, and now she's in this. As far as her getting the memory back, is it just the daddy thing? Or, I mean, it's probably in conjunction with the fact that she saw Brook before. I went to look up Brook's bounty poster, because like if it says Soul King, that's probably why she's never realized that it was him. But it says SK Brook, like Soul King Brook. Yeah. Granted, there's no actual face on there. It's like a skeleton. And it doesn't have a last name. There's probably a lot of Brooks out there, right? So I'm not going to kill her for that. But if you're a huge fan of the music, like, I'm sure he says yo ho 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 in these songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's saying it in the songs.
It's the Sabo effect.
Yo, and that's the one piece of it that I was like, yo, come on, man, don't do this.
Because Sabo definitely seen Ace a couple times. On wanted posters.
And they explain that away on, like, the sake cup thing. And a Kainu's name being Sakazuki is why all the things had to happen to trigger it. Maybe we're getting that again, but it's just that we don't have that here right now anyway. I don't have the backdoor knowledge to know, but we just don't have that. I'm wondering if a similar situation took place with Brook. Like maybe there was a hostage situation. Like she's screaming father in like a serious tone, like something's happening. Where either she thinks Brook is gonna die or whatever. And then the whole, well, my dream is to become a pirate. These two things seem to happen at very different times. Yeah. Because she seems like an adult here, but a little kid here.
Yeah, that's what it looks
so,
like to me, yeah.
I don't know, man. Brook's old, though.
Yeah.
So, that's Gonko old. You know
that's what I thought, too. Like, I was going to bring up, like, the age difference didn't matter because, remember, Brook passed and, like, 50 years has passed. Gonko should be an old lady. Right. But I also thought, like, if people thinking that's Brook's daughter, she wouldn't say Brook, she would say father or dad.
Right. So I'm like,
so he would refer to him as a first name.
I'm so confused at this whole thing.
The only thing that makes sense that if Brook was part of a kingdom, she was probably one of the girls that Brook was looking after, or the family of the royalty during that kingdom. Like, because Brook used to be part of a kingdom, right?
It's very possible.
She could have been from that kingdom. That's the only thing I can think of.
She could be referring to who, like, the father could just be the king. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, the father doesn't need to be Brook. I think a lot of people are in this, like, Brook is the dad piece. I don't think that's the case. I think, like Lano said, he's royal guard, probably guarding the family, high-level family members or whatever. This is her bodyguard. Her dad ends up dying. I don't remember how Brook lost his position. Yeah. Maybe he is blamed for that. Maybe it's beef. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's up when she sees Brook again because of that. I don't know. But I don't think this is his kid. That's where I'm at with it. Yeah. But I'm interested in it though. I'll happily take a second Brook backstory. We got Sanji like 3 backstories. Let me get some. Let Brook get in on this. And then for the biggest part, the emu taking over Gunko's body and just scaring the living hell out of everybody on the island, right? Even Sommers somehow still alive, like, ow. And then killing him, like, oh my god, it's great Emu. Emu says at this moment the Holy Land is a sea of fire. So I guess whatever Lafitte was going to do for Blackbeard, he's burning stuff. Like, they're not just losing, because they've already had the attacks on the ships or whatever. Yeah. I think it's more than that, to me. Like, something more is happening that Lafitte's trying to pull off. Do we need greater numbers? Allow me to show you the dominance of God. I don't know what's about to happen, but I'm really excited. So my mind, and I was talking to the Hashira podcast about this at MomoCon, my mind tells me that, and I could be off with this, in order to be a Holy Knight, you have to sign a blood contract or anyone in this space, Gorosei, Holy Knight, etc. You have to sign a blood contract with Imu. You meet them, you get the blood contract, whatever, and they grant you these abilities. Then you could take over, speak with them telepathically, remove them from the contract like he did with Saturn. That's why he's able to do this with Gunko. I don't think Gunko specifically is Imu. I think he could technically do this with anyone.
Yes.
Gunko's just the one he's doing it with right now.
Yeah.
I could be very wrong with that. Maybe it's different kinds of blood contracts or whatever he's doing, but I do think that that's the case. Because why could he just outright immediately pull Saturn's life away?
Yeah.
That's never really made too much sense if it was only, So to me, once they start doing all this regeneration stuff, I'm thinking that they all just have a piece of Imu's abilities and that he could technically inhabit any of them at any time.
Yeah.
Whether he chose Gunko because she started wavering right now, like she's having memories or whatever. I don't know if something pinged in his system that said, yo, tap into that one. Because you losing her.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if he's just angry at what's happening and it's taking too long. I don't know. But I'm hyped, bro. I'm really hyped. And I want to see what Luffy sees. Will Luffy see this? Will we get the Luffy Emu this early? Because it's technically not early, but it feels a little early, right?
Yeah.
But I'm with it. And what does it mean? What does the dominance of God mean right now? What is Emu about to do? So, hey, I'm with it, bro. I'm so down. I was not anticipating all that. It was a 10 out of 10 chapter for all the reasons that we talked about. But I'm excited. Super excited.
All right. Law?
Yeah, man. This was crazy. The situation that Gaban was in, right? And it's just really because it goes back to what you said, I'm rusty. So probably in his prime, he would have been there like that and be able to save, right? So now he's putting everything in his speed together. And now I'm thinking too, one goes into how fast, because we were talking about how fast she was able to take out Jinbei and all them, right? But we see how fast she's able to use with her ability. This kind of puts it a little more into perspective that she's able to move that fast because she kind of glances there where Colin is and then is there next panel, right? And Gaban's already kind of coming at her. So she didn't take the time to make the arrow, nothing. Usually she glances over there and then use the arrow to get there. Showing that's how fast she can move, right? Or even, not to say outrun Gaban because she's standing still. She's not moving in any direction. Move that fast. That's how she could over this completely speed blitz or speed pass Gaban and even Brook, Brook is a speedster, so to speak. That's one of his probably higher techniques or abilities. It's not strength, it is speed, right? But Gunko could pretty much go through Brook and Jimmy at the same time with her speed because of this one, right? And I was also thinking Gaban, anyway, I was wondering if Colin is your target, would it have been better instead of going after her, go straight to Colin? Because that's where she's going to go. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You went straight for her, Gunko, but then she went straight to Colin. But if you kind of just made a beeline straight to Colin, I wonder if that would have helped. But then, I'm just thinking about this situation, what I would do. When I'm in a situation, it would have been easier if I go straight to my because I know she's going to attack my son. So I better try to beat her there first. But then she also has an arrow on the sun, too. So she could just change Colin's direction quickly as well, we only seen them making them walk, but what if she could make them run, Mm-hmm. So we don't know. So that's what I'm thinking. Wait, no, either way, Colin's under her control. So you're kind of in a no way win situation here because whatever she directs Colin, she could just direct Colin straight to her and then herself to there, and then she beats you there no matter what because Colin's underneath her arrow. Why they're moving? So I was thinking about Gaban, you were just because of your age, you weren't gonna win the situation. You were just too far. It's just whatever. Maybe Prime, I think you would, but this situation too. And then this him, I don't know why. When he was painting out the thoughts of what to do, it reminded me of Sanji. I don't know why I thought this is what Sanji would do. Thinking, I tried to think of a situation where Sanji did it, but thinking it out this much, what to do, whatever, I thought of Sanji. Don't know why, but it just reminded me of him. Right, but also too talk about in an instant where I could save everything, kind of in a way, I could be the hero. Like, it made me think of back what he said to Luffy and them. Like, you're putting Elbaf in danger. This is not in a way Luffy's fault because they were coming anyway, but showing how because he even apologizes later to Elbaf, right? Showing this is, in a way, this is his home now, and my family's here, right? But I got to do this because he knows the threat that they are, and I guess maybe because her ability, but then him seeing it with future sight, that is just like, because how much power he was generating, and you see that, it just like, it made you weak, because you just realized I'm a step too slow to save my son. You just saw your son get stabbed through the neck. And that, like I said, hesitating, that will make any loving father hesitate. Caring father, like you're about to do it, and then you just see your son just like, it's like, no, I'm not gonna make it. You know? So it's like I really felt for Gabon here because the helplessness we talked about before, right? And this one is only due to because your old age. And then too, the flashback and everything, right? Showing that we're chosen my lifelong treasure. Oda tried putting it home, like this is because I remember I questioned, did he go for the books or did he go for his son? Remember a little bit? But I was like, no, he's probably for his son. But now it kind of blows out the water. He didn't much care about. Yeah, he mentioned it, but his main worry is his son. That's his life treasure, right? He said, thank you so much for giving me this gift to his wife, right? He said, you're giving me this gift, Ripley, my lifelong treasure. Now it replaced everything. My son and my wife is the most important thing to me, right? So now you just kind of saw a glimpse with that image of that taken away from you, why it would make you weak. Like, no, I'm going to give up. As someone as strong as Gabon, the Mountain Eater, right? And then you even had Ripley yelling out. I don't know, observation be crazy and the One Piece hearing be crazy. I doubt he heard that. Right? I don't know, but some of the hearing be crazy in One Piece. But they be hearing like, how'd you hear that? There's no way you did. But even showing the state, like what he was about to lose right here. And Gunko, right? Her response to everything, it's so different from all the other CDs, or maybe even only that we've seen, right? So what I'm noticing, her behavior-wise, like she said, like how you guys put it, like deadpan.
Yeah.
To me, and then now we're seeing this memory kind of come forth, right? What screamed out to me was not like you guys mentioned Sabo amnesia, possibly. To me, this screamed out brainwash, 100% to me. Like memories wiped, you're programmed to be this now. And this actually opened up to me. I wonder, like, all right, how does this happen? And where do you get these people to brainwash them, right? I don't know if we don't know yet Gunko's like background of her lineage or her family, whatever. But to me, this screamed out what was probably going to happen to Bonnie, right? Because you have one, she is probably, because we're thinking, all right, where Ginny was, right? And what happened to her, Bonnie's probably the offspring or is an offspring of a CD, right? Why would they let their offspring go, right? So I'm thinking, I wonder too, now that's going back to tying into, like, we know we saw the names of the ancestral dragons. Most of them were named with the saint, right? And we always question, I wonder why Gunko's wasn't a saint. Interesting enough, Shamrock wasn't either, right? So I was thinking about it here. It hit me now since I seen this one, like brainwash. I wonder if the saint is from the pure bloodline. If you're a pure bloodline CD, you get the saint. But if you're half CD, half whatever, you're not. Or you know, kind of like, I'm not gonna say like the D clan or whatever, honorary, but like, you know, so you don't get that saint. And the reason I say that is because I'm thinking, I don't know if Gunko is an offspring too, like a CD, like royalty where Brook is from, or whatever in the situation. But I'm thinking, why would a CD want to be a pirate? But that's what I'm thinking, she's like forced, her family was forced into, because like, what I'm getting at is, I remember when Saturn was speaking of Bonnie and her ability, right? He was talking about, in a way, like experiments, right? They're experimenting on kids. Bonnie, in a case, was part of the experiment. The reason why she got her ability was the extract of the fruit, right? Not the fruit itself, extract, right? So now we're seeing here where Gunko looks like she was programmed, right? So I wonder if, and that's probably one of the reasons why, besides other reasons, why Jenny put this effort to escape is because she saw that where her daughter was going to become an experiment and then brainwashed to become a soldier of maybe even a knight, you know, and then you're going to be forced to take in this blood contract to be blind warrior where you've used yourself to treat people this way and do this war. So I thought of that, like brainwashed and experimented on, and why even Gunko, I believe her ability to become is probably an extract experiment, the same way where Bonnie was. So that all stood out to me, and I think that's what the Gorosei are doing because, especially Saturn, science division and everything, and that could be. I doubt they're taking Emu's blood because they probably viewing him as so sacred, but I don't know how they're getting it, but I thought of that too because they're experimenting themselves outside of Vegapunk. Right, because the extract thing wasn't Vegapunk's doing, right? So part of the science division, they probably have their own group or own team. Because even I think we even started before, they were force feeding. It started off they were force feeding people abilities, right, to see what they get. Now we hearing it wasn't force feeding; these are extracts, and then hinting an experiment. Because how do you get an extract of an ability? You're not force feeding it. That's just whatever you guys for humor or to see what they could do. But now it's showing an experiment why, as in even brainwashing, because this memory is shocking to us because, like, why would a CD have this memory? You know, it doesn't make sense. And now even Brook, and then you're talking about being a pirate. So that's what I'm talking about, full brainwash in here to, like, and where she has no memory. And that's why I'm saying her behavior is a factor because behavior-wise seems to me as someone who's brainwashed. You're deadpan. You don't have, whereas in, I think, Sommers and Killingham, they have the saint, so they're pureblood, so they're normal CDs. They're not
who would just have the sadistic nature.
Exactly,
too,
right?
Mm-hmm.
But you got to pro that into like someone who's not that to become like you. You know, so I think that's why the little theory of where the saint comes from is like the half breed of the or the one forced into it as in the lesser. So that's my thought there, and I again with you, I don't think that this is Brook's child.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm thinking I thought of maybe like trauma in the past. Brook was looking after it, and to me, this looks like Brook when he's alive, not when he's a skeleton. To me, hence why she probably doesn't fully remember, doesn't see it, right? And this is like, to me the way he's dressed. But mentioning the pirate, I'm trying to debate: is he a knight here or is he a pirate here? Right? Because the Rumble pirates, right? They rumbled for years, but her saying she wants to be a pirate makes you thinking: is this royalty, or is Brook a knight here, or is he a pirate? You know,
is it Brook or her saying that?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. We don't know
because it says UC, which is I feel like that's the way Brook would speak.
Yeah,
I don't know that a little girl is saying, "Well, it's my dream to be a pirate." You see.
Okay.
Could be. It could be.
All right, that would change things.
But
that would change things. Then yeah,
I always thought it was Brook who was saying it.
Mm-hmm.
That's better because to me that fits more where I don't see where I come to the whole experiment. I wouldn't see a CD saying she wanted to be a pirate, right?
Mm-hmm.
A little whatever. But again, if it's Brook, that makes more sense because he ends up becoming one. That fits more, right? And so it probably isn't as a royal guard for the kingdom he is. And I think Brook is saying pardon me to Gunko. Like he kind of
I'm telling you, he's just saying he's thinking out loud. The resemblance is uncanny. Usopp's telling him to lock in and think of a way to escape, and he's responding to Usopp, "Oh, pardon me," because he's just lost in thought about who this girl was resembling.
Okay,
that's how I read it.
No, that's fine. That's probably one that I was kind of thinking he was going to ask her, "Pardon me, are you this person?"
Yeah,
that's what I thought. It's like so uncanny. Pardon me, are you?
Well, she's not close like that.
That's a thought. Because that's a thought.
Well, she's saying, "Are you
new
Brook
person
too?
or Brook?"
Yeah, because she's like, "Are you Brook?" It could be what you're saying, but I thought he was gonna ask, and she's trying to find, "Are you Brook?" And he's gonna ask, "Are you this one?" It could be that way. It could not be. It makes more sense that way because there is a period there, like you know,
because like they are far away. Because if you look at how far Gaban had to run, there is distance.
Yeah.
So like I thought Brook was possibly talking to Gunko or somebody else. There's those two. That's what I thought. I never thought he was talking to Usopp until you guys said it.
Okay. And the last thing I want to bring out, for a second there when I read this, I thought, wait, hold on, is Larry's theory right about the whole Gunko and Emu thing? But then I saw, no, she in a way got like taken over.
Like possessed.
Yeah, because right now she's over here trying to, go after, go out to question Brook and then possessed. So now I wonder too, going into my theory about like the programmed, did this switch off because Emu wanted to, or is this a switch because memories kicked in?
Right.
To regain control. You're programmed to hear. You want to leave all outside memories where they're at. They can't remember. So now, is this part of the program where memories kicked in of their past life, who they were, Now, oh no, you need to regain control, where Emu's suppressive power comes over you, or Emu's just like, y'all wrap this up, yo. Like, we got work, because I sent you here to do a job, and I expect it to be done already. Like, making my power. I want, because right here we're going to war with whatever,
Yo, low key, you would think Emu would be more patient. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Running the world for 800 plus years. I think
it's mostly probably what's going on because the fact that he said the sea's on, like, the land's on fire or sea of fire, that means I need this wrapped up now because what's going on over here.
Y'all said we need greater numbers.
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
It's interesting. So kind of like what I sent them for. We're recruiting people for war, to slaves war. We need these numbers now. But because I look back, I wanted to check because in the flames of fire. I look back because the last time we seen Mary Jo was when Kuma was there, like the land itself, right? Because we saw the one where we got the report from Blackbeard and Lafitte, where the food supply was being, every time it's going up there, would be destroyed, right? But the land itself is like chapter 1092, right? Is where Kuma is there and is trying to get past, and it kind of confronts him, and he does reverse shock. The Holy Land is not on fire.
Yeah,
it's not. It's in not good condition because a few days ago the Rev attacked it, but it's not on fire at all. So this is a new update, and probably why Shamrock had to go back, right? Because of the situation there.
Shamrock stock's down, man.
Wait, I think he's addressing the situation. He probably went back because it's on fire.
He ain't handling it.
The Gorse are probably there.
They ain't handling it either.
Yeah, so but yeah, so then so to me also bring up the same way. This to me, that link is the same way where Emu was able to take away Saturn. It's the same way to me. It's a similar how he's able to take over Gunko. Their link. It's a similar power, and I think that's for Emu wise. It's just smart. Where now your most loyal or strong companions, you have control over them. As in you could gain control over them and take their power away, or even apparently this is kind of almost to the extent what we saw Jobe do with Emmett, right? Yeah, it was in a rope what he did, but now he's able to use his own conquerors inside another person. Because I believe this conqueror is coming from Emu. Makes more sense as possession, right? And I believe, even though we talked about before I wrap it up, sensing before because I'm thinking, all right, how big Elbaf is. I believe now, because also I believe that Loki and Luffy are sleeping after they ate. I believe they're going to sense this. You asked if Luffy's going to see this. I believe Luffy's going to sense this, and that's Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji are going to sense this crazy amount of hockey, right? And they're going to be and they're going to sense it's evilness. Because way back on, Fishman Island, and this is Kariba we're talking about, and I don't know if it's hockey, but Luffy sensed a wild beast, right? Mm-hmm. So now you're sensing this crazy hockey, because we get before, if the Gorse era coming up, it was overwhelming on Elbaf. Everybody was sensing it. Now you have Emu, who's supposed to be stronger than them, even though Elbaf is so big and they're still pretty far away. I feel like they're going to sense it, and they're going to see what's up. So I think in the next a few chapters, we're finally going to get Luffy, Zoro, the Monster Trio, enter the scene of seeing with Emu. And then just like how it's going to be similar how Big Mom and Luffy spoke over through something else, we're going to get this first meeting with Luffy and Emu through Gunko and Luffy, where it was the Denden Mushi.
Yeah.
Gunko's going to be Emu's Denden Mushi, and this is where Luffy and Emu are going to talk, just how Big Mom and Luffy did, but it's going to be through Gunko right here. I think we're going to get that. And that's it.
Yeah. That was a lot of good points, man.
Thank you.
So there's a lot to unpack, right? I'll just start off with the Brook and the revelation that Gunko might be his daughter. I think it's his daughter. From what I read, it's definitely his daughter. We already have an elite roster of deadbeat dads in One Piece. Barrels, Judge, Morgan, Calgara, Kyoshiro, Shanks, Garp, Dragon, Yasop. Legends in the game. Are we really adding Brook to the Hall of Shame too? Because from where I'm standing, it's looking like Brook dipped on his daughter to become a rock star pirate and never looked back. Listen, we need to start looking at these men. We need to start holding these men accountable. This whale chasing the dream, this whole chasing the dream thing at the cost of your kids' well-being, nah. I'm not letting that slide. And no, I don't care if she was captured by celestial dragons or if he wasn't strong enough to save her. Brook had the strength to chase a whale across the Grand Line, write songs, and serenade Laboon from across the sea. But he couldn't write one song for his daughter? He couldn't leave behind a lullaby or a message? Laboon even got a promise that Brook would go back to see him. Where was that promise to Gunko? Hold on. Even if he thought she was dead, that's more reason to memorialize her, bro. Where's the heartfelt ballad? Where's the grief in the groove? If she was really gone, then why doesn't any part of his soul-filled music reflect this pain? I'm sorry, but if Brook is your favorite Straw Hat, you might be unknowingly supporting child abandonment. Hey, you need to reevaluate some of your life choices. The same way y'all dragged Yasop for being the original left to get milk dad, we gotta keep that same energy with Brook because in his case, milk isn't just a metaphor. It literally heals him. That's all I'm saying, yo. That's all I'm saying. So...
I don't think there's anywhere near enough evidence for that.
Nah, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, bro.
Like anywhere near enough evidence.
Put him in the club.
Oh, man.
Put him in a dead, whatever, bro. Put him in the club. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyway.
They said Larry Trauma dumping.
To move on, Brook's 90 years old. 52 years ago, which is the earliest time we got of him joining the Rumbear Pirates, was at him being 38 years old. And that's the same year he died. So if we assume that he joined the Rumbear Pirates at the age of 38 or maybe even 37, he's probably on the Rumbear Pirates for about a year. Before that, we knew he was in the kingdom. He was doing like these little missions. He was considered like, you know, very high class because he was able to protect certain things within the kingdom that normal people just couldn't protect. So he did hold some status. But I will say this, Gonko, if we go by that time frame, she has to be older than 60. And the fact is, she doesn't look any younger. So, this is going to get into a lot of speculation on my part. So, I don't believe in like blood contracts.
Okay.
I believe in the idea around it. So I don't think necessarily that Oda does anything with... I don't think he does demonic handling of anything in One Piece. The same way devil fruits aren't from devils. The same way like the Gorosei are not unbeatable. Like I just think that everything's much more grounded and has a much more simple answer. And I think it resides in haki transference. I brought it up before that... if you're able to transfer haki into something and then have it exerted, it lives on through that object, right? But in this case, I think most likely, again, this is all heavy speculation, so sorry if there's not actual evidence because this is unknown territory that we're going to be speaking about, but if there was a previous user of the Opi Opi no Mi, and that person used the immortality surgery on Imu, and Imu was already at the top of the world or just used it to get to the top of the world, it was through the means of haki. Now, we already talked about the haki strain that's on a person, right? We said, well, haki can strain you to the point where you might develop a disease if you're not mature enough to handle it. Okay, so we've seen Imu. He has the immortality operation done on him. Immortal life now. Now he can use haki to any limit that he wants without the strain. So what happens? Either his haki was already built up to the point where it was, or he just mastered it to the degree of where he had such time on his hands that he could not only put haki into objects, but he could also put it into people. So when the Holy Knights are converted, or whoever these people he just thinks are disposable comes to his, to his domain, he picks a person and he goes, I'm going to put my haki into that person. And I've always said it was very weird that when we got introduced to Vegapunk and his satellites, we also got introduced to Emu and then the Gorosei. Now we're starting to see it expand to where Emu's also able... I think what he's doing, or she or he's doing, is he's not only giving a piece of the immortality operation to the Gorosei and also to these Holy Knights, but he's also transferring his haki into it. And I think he's willing people to stay alive. If my will is that, if I can trap my essence into you, I'm going to push you to live as long as you want because that's what I will it to be. And that's what it really comes down to for me now. Mm-hmm. Because I brought it up earlier. I don't know how this dude is alive. I don't know how Sommers is alive right now. If Conqueror's haki cut him in half and he's capable of bleeding and being hurt, then how is he alive? And I think it's really now it's like, okay, well, I think Emu, because only thing that could... Now, I didn't write any of this down, so I'm sorry. But the only thing that could combat haki is haki itself. Mm-hmm. So I would assume that right now, the only reason you're allowed to hurt somebody is because of haki, but the haki's still keeping him alive. It's not a devil fruit ability.
The haki transference that he's getting is still keeping him alive.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The same way, like, if you cut anybody else, like the Gorosei, they're still alive, too, even if you might use Conqueror's haki on them. It's just that Emu's Conqueror's haki is so overwhelmingly powerful that you would need something comparable. And it would be something close to Joy Boy's haki or Shanks' haki. And it's crazy, too, because we're starting to see the evolution of Conqueror's haki in a way where it's, like, sort of breaking the realm of the power system of the show, because we were even surprised when Shanks was like millions of miles away, but he was able to send his Conqueror's haki to Green Bull and talk to him. Mm-hmm. That was like the first step in seeing this haki transference, right? And then now I brought it up with Lawrence that Zoro was able to somewhat transfer his Conqueror's haki to the point where Monet couldn't piece herself together. She just wasn't capable of it. Now we're seeing the peak of what Conqueror's haki could be, or what it actually is.
When utilized in this transferable way.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So if I can input my haki into you, it's sort of like I'm a tower, mm-hmm. and you're like my modem. Mm-hmm. Like you're like my Wi-Fi box. Like wherever you go, I can still connect to you and just, transfer my haki to you and do whatever I got to do. And it sort of works with like Momonosuke and Zunisha, because Momonosuke's whole thing was the voice of all things, and he was able to talk to Zunisha, but then Zunisha was like, yo, see through my eyes. And that was haki related, but it was just observation. So all of it is just, again, I hate to say it, but it's just haki.
So the Gorosei, not so much the Gorosei, but the God's Knights and the Gorosei are just like hot spots for Emu's haki?
Yes.
Just mobile, okay. I mean,
yes.
it
this
makes more sense than anything else, really, at this point.
And it's like, I guess I don't understand exactly how it all works, but I think this is just, I think we're on the money when we're talking about like haki transference. And it was crazy because I also think that Emu's able to transfer abilities through his haki, which is sort of stupid to me, because it's like now he's able to, let's say I put my haki into a devil fruit, because devil fruits have wills of their own, and I completely import my haki to where I can control the devil fruit itself, right? Because at the end of the day, the devil fruit could take control of you, or you could take control over the devil fruit. So let's say I put my haki into a devil fruit, you eat the devil fruit, therefore you have some of my haki, but the devil fruit also has my haki. So I can just, you're just full of my haki. But I can also take it both away, because I'm in control of both of them. That's why Saturn's passed away. And that's why we can assume, like, for Garland might have gotten the Gyuki devil fruit that was given by Emu, because he just has the ability to take these 6 devil fruits that are instilled with his haki and then give them out or take them away. And the devil fruits never respawn anywhere else. And if they do, they'll always follow his will to come back to him.
Maybe.
Yeah, there's so much Oda has to like address.
No, there's a lot to address because now I'm like starting to get. It's always been confusing to Imu's power, but it's starting to become like, if this is true, and this is where I wanted to say like the Emu or rocks who's stronger. If this is true, we have never seen Conqueror's Haki used in this way ever. There's absolutely no way anybody in the show, besides probably Joy Boy at some point, but he used his Conqueror's Haki different, that can compete with Imu. Because if I can put it this way, Gunko was probably like second commander level, right? She easily probably solos an admiral. Easy. If she wanted to. Because Imu has now, one, Wi-Fi hockeyed his hockey to her, and now she's going to be able to use whatever powers he has.
You don't think there's a limit to that, though?
I think the limit is her body has to withstand it enough. Okay. And if it can't, remember, it'll kill her. So this is probably has a time limit on it. It's like,
you can explain the bandages.
Yeah, it's like, like, you got like 2 minutes max to like show out. And we probably won't even get that Luffy versus Emu confrontation. Because she'll expend it immediately.
I can see that.
So, I think that's currently what's happening. I really do, and I do believe Luffy and Island is going to feel it. I don't think this is a Hagi we've ever seen, and if it's similar to Joy Boys, then the whole island's gonna feel it, bro. I wouldn't be surprised in the next chapter some giants are shown to be passed out, even though they're so far away.
Yeah.
That'll be great.
I want to see what Loki's response to this is. Because he's like, oh, I'm going to bring Ragnarok to this island and change the world, blah, blah, blah. Like, this seems like a pretty Ragnarok kind of moment. You know what I'm saying? But.
So I've never been one to think about the eyes of it, but I'm starting to think that there is a connection. So, like, Gonko has the white eye and then the black eye. The black eye is her original eye. The white eye is the weird one.
Yeah.
All right. So I think I don't think it's always a tattoo. I think the tattoo might be how they use the abyss pentagrams to go through them, right? But that's just a transference of like Emu's power in a very small percentage, where he actually inserted himself or herself into a person, and it changed their iris, and that's why he's able to like control her, where he couldn't. I wouldn't say he couldn't do it with the Gorosei. I just think that he kind of had like the voice of all things thing with the Gorosei, where he can see what was going on, because during this language he's saying like, yo, what is going on? Like, I just showed up. I need y'all to hurry up with this because Mary Jo is on fire. We seen Shamrock be told by Killingham that he needed to come back to Mary Jo because there was a dire situation happening ever since the Reverie. So he needed to show face in order to help out. But I don't know if that's saying, yo, Mary Jo is on fire because Blackbeard's here. And he decided to use whatever he did with old girl. Old girl.
Devon.
Katarina Devon power by taking Saturn's ability or whatever. And now like Celestial Dragons are panicking and confused and like we need numbers. That's the only reason I think you would need numbers. Because to me, Shamrock showing up and Celestial Dragons acting out, yo, I'll start killing y'all. You don't need numbers for that.
Yeah. Well,
I'm going to show you fear. They're easily able to be, intimidated. So I think Blackbeard's making a move on Mary Jo right now. But then again, I'm thinking, why would Emu leave Mary Jo to handle the situation with Elbaf then? So I'm confused as well on that part.
See, to me, the numbers, I don't think it's a short-term play with, we need numbers to help defend Mary Jo right now. I think it's, we need numbers for the war to come. And y'all are tackling the biggest, recruitment that we have in play right now. Elbaf. This is the most pivotal way we can get the strongest foot soldiers we could possibly get. And y'all lacking. And this, where I'm at is on fire. What are we doing? So he's coming in to check in on that. But that's a good point you made, though. Because under my thought process, or at least the thought process of a blood contract, if he could just tap into any of them, he could see what's happening at any time.
Yeah.
But if it's not that, this is why he would ask, like, what's taking so long?
Mm-hmm.
Because he can't just tap in at any time and see. So, I mean, he's tapping in now, so I guess. But
it brings up an interesting idea, is that, you know, with long life, other people are going to pass around you. And I think Emu started realizing after hundreds of years that, one, it's a lot of expense in order to keep training new individuals with new abilities and such. So I think over time he developed a technique to where he can consume multiple devil fruits or have multiple devil fruits under his control, hand them out to people, and also hand some of his immortality to them too. Mm-hmm. And if the dude is able to do that, then it's like, what the hell? Like, who are we versing? Like, this is probably the most dominant figure in almost any anime in their verse. Because at this point, it's like, how could you beat him? How could you beat her? Like, what would you have to do? Even if conquerors are conquerors and they're up to this point, you still have to be a bigger conqueror than that person. And if you aren't, like, let's say, like, he is dissipating some of his power, and he gets his power halved each time he gives power to somebody else. When he takes all of his power and brings it back to himself, who's stopping him?
Yeah.
Roger, Joy Boy, Luffy all got to battle him at the same time. I think it's really scary because the people we've seen with Conquerors do what they do, like Kaido and Shanks and, you know, even Garp with Galaxy Impact. It's like, I assume Emu could do this with relative ease. Probably not even trying. Like, I could imagine, like, put it this way. Saturn literally stood and just shot like an I-beam. And to me, that was hockey. Imagine what Emu could do.
Shout out to Emu, man.
Yo, it would be crazy, bro. Like, if all the admirals fought him right now, he'd be able to like permanently probably turn off their devil fruit powers. That's the type of like conquerors hockey we're witnessing. Because if Mary Jo is all the way over here, and like Gunko is all the way over here, and he's transferring conquerors hockey, like the way it's like lightning, like she looks Super Saiyan 2.
Yeah.
And if you didn't notice, her hair grew longer.
Yeah, that's too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Like she looks sort of like Nami. Like her hair grew long. Like she like Ichigo when he went hollow form.
Yeah.
Like, bruh.
Hey, man.
And this might prove if Emu has taken over her completely, right? We might even think that long hair makes Emu probably a chick.
Very possible.
Because if it's taking her identity, taking Emu's identity overall, like that's Emu, bro. Even
just the taking over the body, like if she's this is more familiar to me. You know what I mean? But
like it's even in Emu's wording.
Did y'all peep they didn't say Emu, they said Moo?
But he called himself Moo before.
Yeah.
So even in the wording, can you go back?
Mm-hmm.
The wording was, allow Moo to show you the dominance of God.
Mm-hmm.
To some degree, calling yourself a god and then conquering the world, I feel like it's a higher dream than ruling the world. Like, Moo probably thinks he could go to anywhere and rule it. And I think that's like the highest form of conquerors too. You remember I told you your wording or like your goals always determines how high your ceiling is as a conqueror?
Mm-hmm.
Like Whitebeard's only got to this certain point. Rogers was only a certain point. Rocks had a bigger ceiling point because he had a higher, harder goal. Emu's like, yo, my goal is not even to be the rule of the world. It's to be something above that. So it's matching his conqueror's hockey. I just think it's fascinating because we've never seen this. We were impressed that Shanks did what he did to Green Bull.
Yeah.
And we were like, yo, he won in a verse. Put it this way, we were questioning if Roger and Whitebeard could do what Shanks did.
I wasn't, but I feel you.
There was a point where we were like, yo, can they do this? And we were like, hell yeah. But now it's like, yo, can they do this? Can they take over somebody's body?
Nah, they can't do that. But that's the thing. I don't know that that's just hockey. You know what I'm saying? It very well could be, but I don't know if it's just hockey. that's doing this.
That shit crazy. Oh, I cursed. My bad. My bad, yo.
I feel that's the first time Larry had a slip up like that in a while.
Oh, I'll also say this. Low key, how crazy would it be if Brook was a Holy Knight? Like, in training. Like, probably. Could have been.
But let to become a pirate?
I mean,
Yo,
hey, man.
Probably, yeah, there's been Celestial Dragons that switched up.
There's been
But
Mihawk theories.
Hold on. Look at his silhouette. He's wearing the same coat as Killingham, and the sword is very similar to all Holy Knights, too.
Well, Brook just a royal guard person, right? So
He looks
he's
very
just gonna
Celestial
be
Dragon
very
like,
proper. Maybe.
He looks very Celestial
Yeah,
Dragon,
because he has a different sword now. Like that. Sword
Yo,
he
completely
has,
different sword. Like, think about it. From his kingdom, he learned to fence. That was like his fighting techniques. But in this picture, he looked like that's not a fencing
That's a
sword.
saber, no?
Yeah, it looks like a saber, like a Holy Knight sword.
Hey, man.
I know I'm talking a lot, but like it was just crazy, bro. I think all right, I forgot what page this is, but the page where Gunko is like on her arrow and she has her sword pointing like down.
It's tough.
And then Gabon's like this. Yo, that panel is tough as yo, it is hard, bro. I love that panel. And this is the second time that Gabon has yielded.
Yeah. He be yielding, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the other one, he wasn't trying to really scrap.
He be
it
expanding
wasn't.
too much energy, mountain eating. You know what I'm saying?
I really did love the fact that Lionel pointed out the scar and when he got it, because now this kind of disproves, well, it doesn't kind of disprove, but he's not the man with the mark, the burn scar. But I really did like the fact that, like, he said his his lifelong treasure is his son. I was like, oh man, because that's how I would feel if I was a dad. Like,
Yeah.
my kid would be my lifelong treasure. I love the hell out of my kid.
Yo,
You said, and I quote,
You can make
have
another
another
one.
kid.
Oh, real talk though? I wish Gabon hooked off, bro. Even if his kid got murked, I wish he hooked off. Let me tell you why. He said that he was going to save Elbaf, he was going to take care of the fire, and take Gonko out all in one swipe. What the actual F?
What the hell, y'all?
What do you mean? That would have been more impressive than what Rayleigh has ever done. And low-key, we would have been having a different conversation right now. Yo, think about it.
But my
Rayleigh
hold on,
never
that
did
just
sound
mean-
like that.
That just means he's aged better than Rayleigh has. That doesn't mean he was stronger than Rayleigh at any point.
I don't know, man.
All right, man.
Yo, all I'm saying is, two people showed that they have Conqueror's Haki, and one person was willing to do an extreme feat compared to Rayleigh struggling against Kizaru.
But Kizaru.
yeah, but also like I get you, but he was leaking out Conqueror's leakage when he was better face Blackbeard.
All I'm
Also
saying is,
pre-skip.
Listen, bro.
Not fair.
I don't feel like Gabon would have been like, yo, I would have lost a Blackbeard on some like, no, bro. Gabon is really that
That
guy.
just means he's aged better than Rayleigh has.
I like Gabon better than Rayleigh. Already. Because Gabon was willing to save his son and save other people's kids.
Oh my God.
And guess what Rayleigh wasn't able to
my
do? Because he didn't want to save Ace.
It all comes back to Ace's death.
Always, bro.
well, hold on. Yes, Ray said that, but he was still willing to take on Blackbeard.
Bro.
He legit. If Blackbeard wanted, like, no, we scrapping, right?
He
I ain't
was
scared of
dependent
you.
on Boa.
No,
Because he knew that Boa got
Okay.
released,
Oh, man.
Stop.
he would have got bodied.
Stop. That he came to save Boa.
Rayleigh, yo, you know what? Rayleigh the new Gart, man. I don't
Chill
respect
out.
Rayleigh, bro.
Oh my
All right?
God.
Rayleigh's soft, man.
This is wild.
All right, Rayleigh's super soft.
He at least swam all the way
Care?
again.
And Gabon tearing up giant women, bro.
He
Suck.
yo, Ray legit flexed, and Blackbeard be like, Aaron, no beef.
Well, that's because Blackbeard's dumb. There's obvious
No,
reasons
Blackbeard's
as to why he
just kind
said
of
nah.
a punk, man. He's just kind of a punk.
He knew he couldn't fight Rayleigh with just one hand. He had to let Boa go. And Boa was like, all right, you let me go. And Blackbeard was like, yo, you're going to turn me to stone, so this is not a good idea. It wasn't Rayleigh.
I bet you if it was like, even if he didn't have Boa Buck and Ray still showed up, he wasn't trying to go deal with Ray either. If Blackbeard was by himself and it was just him and Ray was like, yo, we doing this, or you leaving, Blackbeard leaving.
Gabon would have took him out easy. Easy, bro. Might have been hard for Rayleigh, but it wouldn't have been hard for Gabon.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you glazing a little bit right
Yeah,
now.
you
But I
are.
respect it.
Who else?
Because this is my guy right here.
Who else fought Zoro and Gear 5 Luffy at the same time? Besides Kaido. You know what I'm saying?
You don't realize he's
Hey, how they phrase it in the chapter? How they phrase it? He was totally pushing Luffy and Zoro around,
Getting
man.
tossed.
You do realize he yielded before Luffy
Yup.
went, right when Luffy went Gear
Yup.
5th. So he even faced Luffy Gear
Yup.
5th. He yielded.
Yup.
He didn't even have his axes.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, he did.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did. What you talking about?
Yeah, my bad. That's my bad.
All I knew, I saw Zoro struggling on some sword slashes. Alright?
He saved Luffy.
I don't know who I like, but I probably like Gabon better, but
Y'all like Rayleigh. He a drunk and he cheat on his girl all the time. Cheat on your... Yo, that's all he do, bro. Gabon out here being a faithful man to a beautiful woman and raising his kid. The only reason he stood on Elbaf for 20 years was because Colin 20. But we gonna be like, yo, a cheater better? Nah, bro. His hockey better. His woman better. You know what I'm saying?
talk to him.
Food better.
Talk to him.
Hair better.
Yeah.
Hey, he cooking up. He saying, yo, bring the kids over.
Yeah.
For playtime.
Yeah. Ray ain't raising no kids.
I take
man.
showers. You know what I'm saying? I ain't messing with these hoes. My girl the baddest on the... Talk to me. Y'all repping Rayleigh. Out of here, man.
He said my food
He
better.
said my food better. Listen, I agree with almost everything Larry said about Gabon over Rayleigh, man.
And it ain't even a competition between Rayleigh and Shaki. Shaki breath smell like cigarette butts. Try to talk to her, bro.
Ripley top tier, man.
Ripley top tier, bro. She had Gabon saying, yo, thank you for giving me this kid.
Shaki couldn't even keep Rayleigh in the house.
Shaki probably... No, I was about to say something about it.
Shaki be telling random skeletons to color her underwear, man. Ripley not doing that, man.
They ain't an
true.
open relationship.
It's canon.
They ain't an open relationship, bro. Straight up. Shaki be like, yo, Rayleigh my Diddy.
Yo, alright.
Bruh.
Alright,
Are you done now?
listen, bro. I'll put who y'all like better, Rayleigh or Gabon, in the chat. We almost had 100 votes. Vote up. Gabon winning right now. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, Gabon
That's
winning.
kind of crazy.
As he should, bro.
I thought Rayleigh was a fan favorite. Y'all not showing out for the boy, man.
Listen, man. He don't even wear socks. Rayleigh wear no socks.
He's wearing sandals.
Hence no socks.
Luffy doesn't wear socks either.
You just shake.
They ain't my goats. Kaido was wearing some
Kaido, you go. What happened to Rock?
Y'all, Rock.
Don't let me see. Don't let me see Rocks with some slippers on, dog. Don't let me see Rocks with some slippers, dog.
Even if Rocks didn't have socks on, he told White Bear to shut up. That's enough for me.
Why do socks
I'll tell you this right now.
If you get told shut up and a dude got open-toed sandals on, I'm sorry. You're done. You're cooked. That's it, bro. I'm good. Anyway.
They said never make Larry Reed instead of Seb again. He losing oxygen in his brain. Yo, we gotta get this.
Yo, what's the vote, man? I'm telling y'all.
Yeah, it's
Gabon, baby.
That's it.
What's the vote?
It says no socks rocks.
No socks, Rocks.
No socks rocks.
Hey, man.
Listen, man, respect the
We low-key don't know if Gabon
Yo,
has
that's crazy.
socks on.
Yo, this is crazy.
He's
This is crazy. This is the first third strongest that Larry actually likes. He doesn't like Queen. He hates Marco. He doesn't like Sanji.
Then we put Marco at 3. Oh, Odin.
Huh?
Where he at?
What?
I assume you're counting Odin, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
We know Gabon ain't 3, bro.
You say he's two now?
Okay,
You say,
Yeah,
yeah,
we know
now
Gabon
we're
ain't
done.
3, bro.
Yeah,
We're
you
done.
try-
Yeah.
We know Gabon ain't 3.
You're
bro.
tweaking.
We know Gabon.
You're
Come
tweaking.
on.
We're done, bro.
Rayleigh's more of a friend than he is a companion.
Yeah,
You know what
wow.
I'm saying?
Wow.
Roger was like, yo, I met you first. You my boy. You first met, yo.
This is crazy, bro.
Know what I'm saying? Marco wasn't the strongest on his ship out of his
If
commanders.
Gabon, if you find out Gabon is not a conqueror, you gonna switch this up?
I'm gonna be so.
He didn't even get the confirmation. He crashed out like that. No confirmation.
I know what hockey looks like. I know what hockey looks like. I'm just saying.
They said Dark King versus Mountain Eater. They got the Pornhub names. Though.
Listen, bro. Listen, bro. I'd rather be called Mountain Eater than Dark King. All right. Dark King got this like. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, why can't you be the good king? Why can't you be the light king? Why can't you be the honest king? The strong?
Bro.
No, why can't you just be king?
Yo, Larry, I understand you having fun with this, but I gotta get the super chats, bro. We got like 40.
What does
and
mountain
15.
eater even mean?
I eat
I eat
mountains. Okay, a mountain, bro.
I live planets. I live galaxies.
Damn, we got mad super chats. All right,
And you
guys.
gotta read them, apparently.
Oh,
Yeah. So,
right. Wise Life Jody with the 5 says, happy birthday, Seb. Best troll on the pod. This question is for you. Why no Big Mom versus current Blackbeard? Hashtag business partner tax. Hashtag Brook gas. Hashtag Bajron gun. You better say the right thing.
Blackbeard, just because I know Larry can't crash out over it right now.
All right. TRL with the 5 says, do y'all want it to be conquerors? And if so, do you think it hinders the other later in the story? It doesn't hinder anything, my brother.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And I'll be thrilled if
My brother. Morningstar with the 5 says, Sommers, Mountain Eater. What are you doing here in Elbaf, Gabon? To eat the mountain, dumbass. Isn't it obvious? 8 Blocks Menace. Became monogamy for 3 months, says, theory. Blackbeard exposes Emu by attacking Holy Land. You know what? You're right.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be Blackbeard.
Smooth Weed with the 5 says, I doubt Conqueror's hockey is needed to hurt Gonko, cause then Chopper would just be the messenger for Zoro and Luffy instead of him and other Straw Hats being able to fight.
It's kind of what I was saying.
Yeah. Kodo, 1998, with the 5 says, do you guys think Gabon is landing on these bushes? Hashtag the other topped. Hashtag Larry tax. Lewis, aim for the bushes.
Aim for the bushes. Goodbye. Aim for the bushes,
You get
man.
it though? Hashtag the other top.
The other top.
Yeah, that was a good one. Luis Gonzalez, 1999, says, help me expand on this thought. The giant straw hat at Madi Jua being frozen is preventing it from original owner's hockey activating or preserving it. What could happen if it thawed out? Hashtag happy B-Day, Sebby Webby. Hashtag this ain't us. Soap. I'm not.
This ain't us OP arc. Like this ain't us.
Oh, okay.
I guess. I don't
Nope.
know.
It could be that, Lewis. It could hold hockey.
Yeah. I don't know if the thaw, like, would the thawing prevent anything?
Emu's like, yo, you thought this out.
Crashing out.
I'm done. Roy Stokes. Oh, you said that he became a. All right. JT with the 2 says Ace and Sanji versus Blackbeard and Kid.
Blackbeard and Kid.
I got Sanji in 5.
Yeah, I was thinking.
I got Sanji in
I was
5.
thinking the same thing. Actually.
Yo, were you really?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Shout out to Sanji.
Yeah. Shout out to Sanji, bro. For Garland Shampoo has become a Nakama for 7 months. Man, Usopp do something. This is supposed to be your art.
He yelled at Brook to do something. Come on,
Yeah.
man.
Kyrie Adesanya with the 5 says, hey, fellas, question. Does Boa's ability work on Zoro? Are there any characters outside of Luffy who would be fine? Happy birthday, Seb. Love you guys.
Thank you. And yes.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Pastor C with the 2 says, did Dofi seek Law's Devil Fruit so he could challenge Emu?
Maybe not challenge. I think more so take his place. I thought he was going to try to do the swap-aroo.
Or that's if he knows Emu exists, or he was trying to become. He's either trying to become Emu or like take his place.
He wouldn't be able to move him though.
Not I'm saying, but he means the eternal becoming like immortal. That aspect.
We don't have to.
Milkman Lawrence with the 2, and there's a picture profile of just milk splashing in the cup. It says, "Hey Law, thanks for having such thick thighs."
Okay.
Yeah, wow.
TRL with another 5. You've been donating, son. Hockey is natural in every person's even fodder. It's just determines if they awaken it. I don't think it should hurt the person if it's natural. I disagree. Connor Cinderfire with the 10 says, Apple Pod listener here, first live. Y'all are my first podcast I listen to. When I go to work on Tuesday, I caught up with all the old pods a couple weeks ago. Hashtag can't get charged for the tax if they don't know you. Thank you, Connor. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for watching all these episodes. You probably saw some horrible takes by us. Girthquake with the 2 says, Happy B-Day, Ozempic Man. Hashtag Snow Bunnies in 5. Hashtag Knicks. Hashtag 1.
Oh, man.
Kodo 1998 with the 10 says, how would y'all feel if Big Mom's appearance in present day was similar to what she looked like in God Valley?
She top
I
one.
personally find her more menacing in her old body type, especially in the new anime app.
Would she be more menacing? No. Yeah. I think that
she'd be stronger willed. Because willpower affects your appearance. It does.
I like
look at Mori.
The transition in general. Yeah.
Look at Mori.
He's not the only one. There's a lot of people like that in One Piece.
Mori.
Oh, Mori.
Giggle Mori.
If you have 85 kids and you can't maintain that figure, she emo, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
Jada Rude with a 5 says, maybe the Lunarians came down to Earth and had babies with humans and had giants like in the Bible.
Yeah, the Nephilim. I believe you guys brought that up.
Digital Keb with the 5 says, do you think Big Mom would be able to take an infinite amount of years away from the God's Knights / 5 Elders since they're immortal? Hashtag emu about to spin the block.
Theoretically, yes, but they'd have to be scared of her first.
Yeah.
And I don't think they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wouldn't be scared of her.
I don't know. He was scared of mine. So
I was saying.
Hey, the God's Knights, yes. The Gorosei, I still feel like low-key Saturn was kind of shook when Kuma pulled up on him, too.
Yeah.
Shock and scared is two different things.
He was scared. Dead Kirby with the 22 says, for the 5, who y'all got? Emu, Roger, or Lawrence? Off 2 glasses of milk. Hashtag.
I don't even understand.
Hashtag Milkman and 5. Hashtag Buggy Nation. Hashtag Top on Top. What is wrong with y'all?
Yo, I don't even understand.
This is so funny.
Creative Peon with the 8 months to Nakama status says, Gavon, this chapter showing that he is still him. Dead Kirby with the 22 for the 5 says, miss my Larry tax now. I'm facing a holy noble audit. They took my poneglyphs and my fisherman servants, but y'all, they had nothing else better to do. You got slaves?
Yeah, word, bro.
What's up with you, bro? Debatable Anime, our boys.
Hey!
With the Yonko status says, it was great meeting y'all at the con. Appreciate all the insight you shared, Larry. Oh, thanks, man. Looking forward to y'all's continued success. Hashtag top the real Yonkos. Hashtag top panel MomoCon 2026.
Hey.
Hashtag Larry Seb Tax.
Yeah, Larry was chatting up with them boys for like 10 minutes. We was trying to take a group picture. Larry was giving game though, so it was a good time.
Yeah, it was good times. They're really good people. Yeah. I really mess with them heavy. James Franklin with the 10 says, I don't know how to word it, but I think Emu's will is keeping the Holy Knights alive. So maybe you can't finish a Holy Knights unless you stop Emu because they are extension on Emu will or hockey.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they would end all of them.
I said that.
Yeah, Larry was kind of saying that.
You took it from me.
He probably said that before.
No, he probably said it. Yeah. Xavier Odili has become a Nakama. Thank you. JT again with the 2 says, what OP islands would you visit? Hashtag happy B-Day said.
Thank you.
We can
Elbaf.
Yeah.
I'm liking what I'm seeing from Elbaf, man. I'm not trying to get squished though.
Egghead.
Egghead, yeah.
Amazon Lily.
Wano, but only when Kaido's running it, because I'm trying to go to party, man.
You could party without Kaido.
Kaido party
You
like
going
a
to
Diddy
jail.
party.
I think it's probably
You going to jail.
Dude, I think it'd be more of a party now. You like me partying now, bro?
Yo, Queen's party was lit. I don't care what y'all say.
You gonna watch a Knicks game when he's around and you gonna punch him on accident?
You don't
bro.
think Kaido would be a Knicks fan?
No.
No.
Absolutely
They
not.
lose too much.
Damn, Lawrence. Damn, Lawrence.
That's
That's just I'm Lawrence.
I took the hat off.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So does Kaido. No, it's not. No, it's not.
All right. Smooth Weed with the 5 says black blades are made by constantly imbuing hockey 24/7, even versus fodder, even while not fighting, even while sleeping. Just years until it stays black.
I can't agree with that because then Zoro's not getting it.
That sounds like culture appropriation. Roberto Figueredo with the 10 says, happy late birthday. I believe full-heartedly that Gunko is going to be Brook's daughter. Also, did you see the white Power Ranger above everybody at MomoCon? It's been going around everywhere. I did, and he was protecting us.
I didn't see it. You saw it.
All right, I did on it on TikTok. I did on TikTok. Mr. Music Major from the Life with Anime podcast, otherwise known as Elwap, and Elwap means exactly what you think it means. What's good, fellas? Glad y'all made it home safe this weekend, dog. I gotta send you a text message, man. We barely almost made it. All right, Sebastian was almost late. He was driving 70, hitting turns. It was raining outside. I thought I was gonna perish.
Bro, that's wild.
But we made it though.
I was praying. I was getting on him all morning, so I didn't want to tell him to slow down.
I was driving that fast.
You were?
All right.
Larry's conscious with the 2, but you made it. Killer's last words to Kid, aim for the bushes. Oh my God, bro. Home Peacock. ODB Ams with the 5 says, Oda not showing us rocks since chapter 1145 got me feeling like KG and Uncut Gems. Why would you show me something if I couldn't have it? Chopper D Dealer with the 8 says, hey fellas, do you think Dofi has ringed eyes and that's why he always has glasses on? It would be an interesting thing to see. Could be interesting. They could be all part of Nerona. A pimp named Luffy with the 5 says, I finally escaped my job with Law to say happy birthday, Seb. Don't tell Larry. Hashtag I have something better to do. And hashtag bang bang buggy gang. Jai Jackson with the 5 says, I just got home from a 10-hour shift trying to make enough money to pay Larry tax. How you guys will feel about Roger's disease being hockey related?
Yo, go watch Larry's toxic hockey theory video.
Yeah.
And I guess our conversation about it today.
Yeah. Creator Keon with the 5 says, the average giant could do what a lot of people think one gorilla versus 100 people does. That's how I see the world government's slaving agenda. Hashtag emu is doo-doo. That's so Torta Pounder with a 5. Fun fact, did you know that... Oh, I can't say it like this. Did you know in the Bible, God placed Lawrence at the bottom of Noah's Ark to fight off any extra animals that tried to sneak on? Bruh. You know what's funny? It's really hard for him not to laugh at that.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
It's so funny, bro.
That's so hard.
He said too. He said, yo, take that gorilla back.
Yo, bro.
Yo, too funny. Henry Karma 14 with the 1 month to Nakama says, Brook and God Valley are both from the West Blue. True. Project Nemesis with the 10 says, happy B-Day, Sebi. How did the first live DDTs go? Hopefully y'all can come down to Texas for some of the cons down here. Hashtag Larry Tax. Hashtag what better I got to do.
We had to work out a bunch of kinks. We were actually so popping for like the first setup that we had. We got kicked out because we were drawing too much of a crowd and blocking.
It's on video.
Yeah.
It's on video. I'm gonna edit it and push it
dope,
out.
though.
Yeah.
But
No, it wasn't. It was
was
terrible.
bad annoying.
Terrible experience. It was so embarrassing.
Yeah.
There was mad people.
It was like 5 minutes in. They were like, yeah, y'all gotta shut it down.
It was, bro. We got it on camera.
That's crazy.
But anyway, Ian Butler, thank you becoming a Nakama. Matt Bradley with the 10 says, thanks for the weekly top quality entertainment since Dragon will hopefully finally make his move soon where he's ranked amongst living people. Based on implications, I got him 3 behind Emu and Garley.
Your top 3 is a little wild, but the top 1 is right.
Let him go get a cheeseburger or something first, bro. Jada Rude with the 5 says, who's a better doctor, Chopper or Luffy with meat? Hashtag what else they got to do tag. What?
Chopper.
bro.
Yeah. Mookie with the 5 says, I saw people reference Brook saying he used to be the leader of a battle convoy in a certain kingdom. With the Gunko stuff, now Brook may have been a CD/Holy Knight. I've mentioned he was on a battle convoy before, and I think Lawrence did too at one of the breakdowns.
Yeah.
But I mentioned recently he could be a CD this episode.
He
so.
also has knowledge of the Holy Knights.
Yeah. NYC Anime Nerd with the 5 says, sorry, hands really bad today. Divine a type of attack, like let's say Luffy does Divine Gatling, and we just assumed it was just a normal named attack.
I don't remember the original super chat.
Yeah.
No, it was hard. Yo, DM me, bro.
Yeah. Luke 7557 with the 10 says, rewatching Odin flashback, notice the Sea Kings told Roger the prophecy of the third world, and they will meet. Just some interesting foreshadowing with what we know now. Hashtag 100 laws versus one horse. Hashtag best book club. Divide with the 5 says, didn't Gaban use Future Sight for when Gunko stabbed Colin? The visual is very similar to then Shanks used in chapter 1079.
Yeah, definitely.
I thought it was regular observation, but okay.
Yeah, I thought it was regular observation too.
Same.
It was very short term.
Yeah.
Joshua Talbot with the 2 says nothing, but thank you. And then he sent another 5. Says, what do y'all think about Gunko being Callio Yorkie's daughter?
So that was Brook's captain of the Rumbar Pirates.
Okay, very possible.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Larry's conscious with the 5 says, it's something about Rona's face. I just want to punch it. What's wrong with you, bro? Justified Stupidity with the 10 says, do any of you think Gunko being Brook's old Captain Yorkie's daughter? Oh, wow, you sent a super chat right after that guy. Creator Kian with the 5 says, where do y'all think Shamrock is? He ain't did nothing since attacking a locked up Loki. Hashtag happy birthday Seb. Hashtag like the stream please. Hashtag booyah Kasha. He's on Mary Joa.
Yeah.
Trying to deal with the fires.
Yeah.
He's fireman now.
Yeah. Victor Hate with the 5 says, if Imu could control memories, Shimotsuki Kuina could be Tashigi. It's interesting that Imu's powers are interesting, almost like warping histories. That's a good one. Justified
no,
Stupidity with the 2 says, hey, yo, you filling up on my hockey? Trenton Sumler with the 2 says, first time tapping into a live, just want to support. Yo, you're supporting very well. Justified Stupidity again with the 5. He sent like 3 super chats. Larry, what do you mean Blackbeard is going to be the one moving on Medijoa? Oda said when Holy Knights move, Dragon moves. Dragon moving. Young Blue with the 2 says, Emu Gang feeling real devious right now. Justified Stupidity with a 5 says, on everything I'm telling y'all, Emu is going to try to capture Luffy, not kill him, because he's murked the Nico Fruit user 2 times already. Probably. Justified Stupidity again with the 5 says, tech around Devil Fruit Suppressant is as far as we know, brand new tech unknown before. Okay. Marquito with the 5 says, celebrating my 13th anniversary with the wife. Just want to hop on and say what's up to the boys. I'll catch it on Spotify tomorrow. Hashtag top the GOAT. Listen, man. Happy 13th anniversary. I can't even get past 1. Girthquake with the 2 says, shout out Brook and Lawrence. Hashtag abandon
Them kids.
them kids.
That's horrible, bro.
Why is Lawrence?
I don't know why I've added in that. That's crazy.
Yo, when did you become this milkman child? All right. Justified Stupidity with the 5 says, Larry Willie wakes up and thinks, how do I piss off my fan base as quickly as possible? Then gets on his podcast and does as much. What did I say? He sends another 2. Larry's mic needs to be unplugged. Someone check Larry's feet right now. Girthquake with the 2 says, y'all super chat so they can't leave.
Don't do
Imprisonment. CD Latina Mommy with the 2 says, hashtag Nixon 6. Hashtag Ozempic and 5.
Yeah.
Hashtag Larry and Latinas. Hashtag Peter versus Law. See you in F17 with the 5 says, love the pod. Always got an episode on. Question, is there anything in particular that each of you would love to see in the next couple chapters? Dragon, in my opinion. Smurfy Joe with the 34 says, for 5. Not gonna lie, I think there isn't any other power with Emu or in One Piece, just a variant of hockey. I think it's the key of the world, just how it's applied here. Yeah, I think so too. Martin Luther Jimbei with the 2 says, reminder, Seb, don't ever show up to Fishman Island.
Oh my God.
Smurfy Joe with the 2 says, also shout out to Yao, been watching for a while. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Morningstar with the Yonko status, thanks. Jada Rude with the 5 says, Kaido threw a hell of a party till the Straw Hat officers came and shut it down.
Trash.
Morningstar with the 5 says, totally out of topic, but what did you guys think about the Kanye West HH song? Song catchy though. Okay.
Come on. Come on.
Marv didn't like it.
Marv, you liked it? Was that a like it button?
No,
No, that was
Alright.
trash.
All right. Torta Pounder with the 2 says, Ripley's a mountain I'd love to eat. Hashtag meet to me. Okay, bro.
She's married.
Me
Yeah,
to me.
bro. Girthquake with the 5 says, Larry, I quit my job, I left my kids, and I punched a horse. I finally have nothing better to do. Hashtag I'm only super chatting to hold Marv hostage. Hashtag please adopt me. Hashtag BBC. And then C Win F17 with the 2 says, how do you think Gunko knows Brook? It's her dad.
It's not her dad, bro.
You're not my dad. All right, guys, thank you so much for all the support that you guys showed us. I hope you guys had a lot of fun today. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for all the likes that you have put on the video. Just thank you for being you, please. Continue to look after your health. Take walks, talk to yourself, write down, journal, do whatever you got to do to be your best self. But this is Top Podcast, and we are going to be here next Monday at 6 p.m. And it seems like the chapter is receiving a lot of hype for next week. So we don't know what's going on, but we'll be here to discuss it. So with that being said, Marv, thank you for another episode. Thank you, everybody, for being here. My name is Larry.
Lawrence.
Lano.
Seb.
And this is Top Podcast. Shout out!